The killing of unarmed civilians in northern Ethiopia by people apparently dressed in Ethiopian army uniform have been obtained by the BBC. In November, the government launched a military campaign in the region of Tigray following an attack on an army base thought to have been carried out by the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front. There have been accusations of serious abuses by all sides in the conflict. Our Africa correspondent Leila Nathu's report contains images that some will find very disturbing.
Armed men in uniform leading a group towards a cliff edge. Bodies appear strewn across the ground. A man is urged to throw one off the cliff. These graphic videos and others like it were passed to the BBC and began circulating on social media last month. We've been able to match elements of the landscape shown to features visible on satellite images to identify the location, Mabere Dago, in Ethiopia's northern Tigray region. In November 2020, following an attack on a military base, the Ethiopian army began an offensive in the region against the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, who are challenging central government rule. Troops from Eritrea are also involved, backing the Ethiopian government.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you who are following us around the globe, this is Cyber Power of Tigray Media. Tonight, once again, I have my two guests, Mr. Barakat and our brother Fresgi. I think we had a great discussion few days ago, and I'm once again honored to bring them back. We're going to start our discussion slightly this time different than what we did last time. We're going to do English for just maybe a little bit, and then we're going to shift back into Tigrinya, which is our official language in Tigray. So, أنا مرز لكم أخوات ناي Cyber Power of Tigray Media تكتاتلنا بنجهز لكم مبتات كما يحدثكم ناولكم كمون أب سمين أمريكا وإذا ما نورز أمريكا زر لكم أب يوروب زر لكم كما يوعدكم ناولكم كبرات أخواتي أتبركات نا حونا فرزجي أو ببزح سلام وصلتات بقدامي ون after introductions نقركم energy زر لو ندقت أم خوين خان صباح بورتلاند أوريغون زر لنا يو زر له هو أنا بوتا وسيهم حواتنا زيهم خالتون تحاوسهم مسانا زي قفعي فيديو زرقهم زسان حوالان تقونا ببي بي سي بي سي ان ان بخالي ميدياات انترناشنال زوسعي أفزبنا كاب نوفمبر 4 زحالف عمد سكاب هيزي عسر تغلطورحي دارقات زمالقلو قفع التسرحي نمقصاريو. So I'm going to go back to the English program that I just described because we would like to welcome our viewers who may not understand Tigrinya. So I want to make sure that we provide you as much accurate and factual information as we can, unlike the dictator in Eritrea and the dictator in Addis Ababa, the former state of Ethiopia. So to my guests, once again, welcome. Ato Berkat, I think we'll start with you tonight, and then we'll go to our brother Fresgi.
Thank you for having us, Mike, and we are appreciated to share our views, what's going on in our beloved Tigray. After watching the video that was presented by CNN, it's really a gut-wrenching experience to watch it over and over. This is one of the lowest points for the Ethiopians, where their human capacity and thinking and passion are very low. That kind of brutality to unleash on their own people. And I agree we should do more exposing the crime of genocide that is taking place. We haven't done enough to articulate looking at the magnitude of the genocide that has been carried on our innocent people. Having said that, Abiy recently thinks that he can reverse the defeat by bombing Mekelle, a city of over 500,000 people, perhaps more nowadays, because of a lot of people are coming to the capital city to get whatever resources they can get. I assume the population is swallowed close to 800, probably 800,000 or million. Contrary to Abiy's claims that the airstrike is on military installation, but the ground speaks they are targeting the people that he claims to destroy. I mean, using famine as a war of starvation. So whatever left, he is using air strikes to unleash a maximum wounds and pain to the population who are already suffering under his tyrant rule. Having said that, especially when you look at the war is not going on in Mekelle or in Tigray. The war is in Amhara region, and there is no point to strike the air raid on innocent people far from the fighting area. But here is one thing, the way I see it, is just only too frustrated as a population, so that in the hope they will rise against TDF. But always to the contrary, such airstrikes is just helping the people of Tigray to galvanize their maximum effort. And I heard from credible information because of the strike, a lot of Tigrayan users are going to the field to get more training. Actually, it is working against what he thinks, because he has always been on the wrong side. So the airstrike never demoralize the people that he has targeted in many ways. Now, the youth are more vigor. They are ready to fight and to defend their nation and their people. So he is so foolishly acting such kind of a morbid outcome. But also the way I see it at the end, when we learn from dictators, when they are losing hope, they try to do a maximum damage to the people who they claim to serve. And this dictator, he has done it over and over. He waged a war. He was not successful. He used a famine as a weapon of war. Now he's using airstrike over and over, targeting the population. So this is a dying regime, a desperate attempt to grasp whatever air it has. So what is telling me is it is the end of this regime, because he already
So
indicted.
I'm gonna interrupt you for a second here, because I want us to go list a host of questions that I want us to have a back and forth with everybody.
Absolutely.
So while you add it, let me ask you real quickly. I'm gonna go to Fresco real quick, but in that topic, this atrocity has been going on for 12 months now, and about, well, almost 12 months. In about 2 weeks, it'll be exactly 12 months. I guess my question for you, if you don't mind, just looking into this answer within a minute or so I can give we just lost Frez actually, so we'll just okay. So how have the Tigrayans survived such atrocity for 11 and a half months, and where did they get such strength to build such powerful military to be able to defend most of Tigray territory and now to fight for its survival, but to go deep into the Amhara region? If you could just put those in a few minutes, then we can give our brother a chance to join us here.
Absolutely, it is a good question. It is sure the sheer brutality that is unleashed on our people. No one wants to die sitting and do nothing, wanting. And this is not the character of Tigrayans. Tigrayans throughout history, they fought to be who they are. This is not the first time done this kind of attempt. So, in a short, to get back to your question, it is the sheer determination and the zeal of Tagaru because of the atrocity, such magnitude that have never been in the history. Because we are fighting Eritrean dictator, Somalian militia, Amhara Fano, and Ethiopian Defense Forces, and other nationalities just for a population of less than 8 million. So only choice we have is to fight. There is no choice at all. Either we are going to survive or die. We don't want to die. We're going to fight to the end to be who we are. And that's what it's going to be. And that's what the new generation is not going to be accepted to be under any circumstance, under any dictatorship and yoke. So in a short, it's just the brutality that is unleashed on our people. The youth is not going to put up. They will fight to the end, whatever it takes.
Thank you. So I'm going to bring you, first, we lost you for a sec. Thank you for coming back. I'm sorry, the network situation, but it looks like you're good to go now. So my first and foremost, welcome and thank you for joining us. I know that I'm looking forward to seeing you in person tomorrow, both of you. And we got a protest that we're going to hopefully show the world that the genocide in Tigray is not atrocity. It's actually genocide. So call it for what it is. With that, my question for you is, where are we finding the strength, we, Tigrayans around the globe, but particularly those on the ground in Tigray who had it firsthand, and it's 11 and a half months later, the world still turns its back away from Tigray. 7.07 million Tigrayans were to be completely wiped out of Tigray by the evil dictator of Eritrea and Ethiopia. As a Tigrayan yourself and myself and the three of us and many others, what goes through your mind? How do we manage to even our people to survive 11 and a half months with almost nothing?
I don't think I hear most of your questions, Mike, because the network is really bad. But I will try to answer to my best or to the few parts of the question that I heard. Anyway, thank you for having me first, and I'm looking forward to see you tomorrow in Portland as well. So today marks the 351 days exactly since the genocidal war begins in Tigray. So what do we get this? Your question is, my brother Barakat answered, we have no choice but fight and survive this. We don't have any other choice. So that's why we are fighting until the last man stands. That's what we are doing. So there was no time in our history ever that we ever surrendered for anyone, leave alone for local dictators like Abiy Ahmed or our neighbor Isaias Afwerki, even for the Italians, for the Egyptians, for the Sudanese. We never surrender. So we always fight and we always won the fight. You know what the reason for that? Because we always have the truth on our side. So we always stand up for our rights, for what is ours. We never ask somebody else's. So this fight is the same thing. Just we are asking for basic rights to exist and to live as a human being, as Tagaru in that part of region in East Africa. So we have a right to live like everybody else. That's why we are fighting. Unfortunately, we have enemies that surrounded us 360 degrees, that they don't want our existence. They want us to disappear. That's why, like you guys were mentioning earlier, the war zone is not in Tigray. The war zone is in Amhara region, Afar region. And look, Abiy Ahmed, where he's bombarding. He's bombarding the city of Ma'ala, the capital city of Tigray. Almost 2 million people live in Ma'ala as we speak, because we have a lot of displaced people from all over Tigray who are sheltering in Ma'ala as we speak. So what is Abiy Ahmed doing? If he have to fight the fight, why he is not fighting at the war zone, but he is going after the innocent people?
Okay. So
Yeah, let me continue.
there you
with
go.
that.
We're gonna see if I can get him back. Oh, that's Ephraim. Okay, so we lost Frez, and then someone else just pops up. There you go.
There is an intruder.
When
Anyway,
Fresgy lives, I just join you guys. How everybody is doing?
we are doing fine, Ephraim. Glad to see you here. Uh, I just want to say a few things in terms of, what brought us this war. Why are those three actors, especially Isaias, Abiy, Formaggio, and Amhara, descending on innocent people of Tigray? I think it is worth mentioning, why. Every one of those dictators, they have their own stake. Why they are joining the war. For Abiy, it is because of his mom told him some kind of, he wants to be a king. And that is the motive. It is about power. Has nothing to do about democracy. For him to be a king for life, the obstacle is the Tigrayan people. He has to remove them. And he has to find ally, the Amhara elite, and also the Isaias Afwerki, a dictator for life, and Formaggio. Well, each of them have their own stakes, as I said. What about the Amhara elites? The Amhara elites, they are rivalry in terms of history. So the only way to have to be or to claim our history is to eliminate us, so that they can claim Aksum, all the historical facts that Tigray possess. Christianity came first in Tigray. Islam came first in Tigray. Al-Nagashi, all the historical facts that we are talking about, that many of the Amhara really think that they are the source of all this civilization. So those are owned historically by Tigrayans. And in order the Amhara to claim them, they have to eliminate us. On the third level, that we have to focus is about Isaias, the dictator.
So I'm actually gonna go back to Eritrea, but let me bring Ephraim in. I wanna, since there's four of us, we're gonna have to shorten our discussions here so everybody gets a little piece. So welcome, Ephraim, the uninvited guest. So the discussion obviously we're having is, the question that I've asked is, how do we manage to survive through this genocide, the atrocities in Tigray for 11 and a half months? What goes through your mind when you just reflect back 11 and a half months ago? Tigray was the most peaceful state in the place called Ethiopia. Now, for 11 and a half months, our people have gone through so many atrocities. And before you joined us, I show a clip of the genocide that took place in Tigray, and that was aired on BBC News from the United Kingdom. So my question for you is, what's going on through your mind to see our people to survive such a long atrocity for 11 and a half months? That's for you, Ephraim.
Great, thank you so much. Great to see you, everyone. Barakat, Mike, and Fresgy. Welcome, Fresgy, to Seattle. And I heard that you are going to Portland with us tomorrow, which is that's a great thing to do. You're gonna chant, and everybody will follow you. Yeah, Mike, thank you so much. That's actually very important question and it's current. Well, I mean, our people, what is the main cause of this? Our people is not divided. It's just the political people, the politicians. And the politicians they give them enough opportunity to lead Ethiopia. As you remember, as you recall, everyone here, Dr. Debretsion excluded himself from the political candidate to be a prime minister after the Salin was resigned. So what did they have said? If this issue came because of us, I think we need to help our people and you guys can lead this. That's it. That was clear a discussion between EPRDF. And we already know that. And when he came Abiy Ahmed to the power, as you recall, he was saying that we have made all mistakes and we need to apologize for the Ethiopian people, and Ethiopian people will forgive us. And he was like down to earth, the way he talks, the way he speech on the parliament. I was one of his supporter as well. I know we need this peaceful demonstration, especially from Oromian people and other people came. And then when this guy appointed to the power, I thought he was going to do a better job. Okay, after that, long history short, how do we survive? We are surviving because we have to. We are struggling still. Emotionally, we are struggling. Economically, we are struggling. A lot of things is going on for Tigray people, including you, myself, and all of us, because our people has been blocked for at least 11 months. It's been excluded from the entire Ethiopia or the world. There is no electricity, there is no internet, there is nothing. Famine is going on right now. So the only way, I've heard multiple Tigrayans are depressed now. Some of them, especially those who live in Addis, are very suffering. They are excluded from the community. They are targeted because of their ethnicity. There is a lot going on. How do I survive? I don't know. I've been having a nightmare all the time. I was thinking my sister, my brother are in Mekelle, like close to the Planet Hotel, which is bombarded yesterday. I don't even know if they are okay or not. I'm still suffering emotionally. What did we do? What did the people of Tigray did for Ethiopia? Nothing. Actually, Tigray People Liberation Front was nothing done for Tigray people, but they have done a lot for the rest of Ethiopia. Look, the whole economy, where they build, the industrial parks, the buildings, the road technology, the infrastructures, where are they? In Bashasha, in Jimma, in Walaga, in Amhara, in Somalia. Somalia was the worst state from Ethiopia. Somalia region, because I know all the place when we control.
So sorry, Ephraim. So I want to stay on the topic so that we can jump into everybody. But so I think you touch bases, but I want you to stay on how for 11 and a half months, your thought process on that, our people, how they survived it, and how, you described by yourself, but let's just touch base on our people, how they're surviving on the ground in Tigray. And then I want to give a chance to Frez so we can circle around.
Okay,
Well,
thanks.
I know. I know this hard to talk is very tough. All right, you can go ahead and ask Fresgy because I'm just trying to explain everything.
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna give you another minute. So in your thought process, how is our people holding up on the ground? Just in your imagination, to me, it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to understand the strength they have, the will and the ability to continue the fight with the very little thing that they have. So how is that,
Yeah.
in your mind, how is that happening?
Okay. I think Fresgy understand this. Why you are
The
exactly
network is
wanting
really
to
bad.
hear. Yeah.
Bad in here, but hello, Ephraim. Anyway, good to see you here in Seattle, Washington. How do we survive this? It's a good question, and it have a real answer. We had each other. That's how we survive, because we have each other's back. Here at the diaspora, all over in the world, especially here in the United States, we galvanized in one night, and we throw a national protest. We expose this crime where Abiy Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki tried to do it in dark, and we exposed it. How do we do that? We have each other. We were one as a people. And also, we have to remember that's our psychological makeup. We don't give up. We are fighters. So, when anything happens to us, we don't surrender. We fight. This is our psychological. This is in our DNA as Tagaru. That's why we call Tagaru. So we hold up to that name. And that's how we survive. And this agony, this genocidal war, this displacement, this mad famine, this rape, you can imagine. The world had never seen since the Second World War such a war crime that happened to us in Tigray. But we survived that because we have each other. That's how I define it. Even here, the four of us, we were connected because of this war. Before that, we were in our ways and our living in our lives. But now here we are. After living in America over 30, 40 years, now we're talking about Tigray. Because we have one thing that makes us one, that is a nation called Tigray. And we have what makes us one, the people of Tigray. So that's how we survive, by having each other. And of course, so that's my opinion, and that's how I look at it. Thanks.
So fourth bombing just took place in Mekelle. I'm going to stay with you for another minute or so.
Sure.
Fourth bombing, and the bombings are taking place at a very high altitude because he knows there are enough weapons to take down the planes. And when you're flying up high, you're not even targeting a specific area. You drop in these bombs. And I had this discussion yesterday with Imnare, who is another military vet who served in the former Ethiopian military. How long do we have to be patient? How long do we have to wait to not use our heavy weapons when we are fighting the front line after what we see today, which is the desperation of what Mengistu Haile Mariam tried to do toward the end, including when he bombed Hausen during like a market gathering. So to me, I'm trying to look at the comparison when I was a child to what's happening today when I'm an adult. And I can't understand this sort of atrocity.
That's a good question. They call it desperation. This is the final hour. So Abiy Ahmed and his alliance, including Isaias Afwerki, the Arab Emiratis, the Turkish government, and the Chinese, and the hidden ones, the Russians, and all them, they lost the war. So what they can do now is, we know that the war zone is in the Amhara region and Afar region, but they are bombing who or where? Ma'ala city. Ma'ala is the capital city of Tigray. Ma'ala have a population close to 1.5 million to 2 million, because a lot of displaced people from all over the country in Tigray, all over the state, well, that's my dream, to call a country, are now sheltering in Ma'ala. So Abiy Ahmed, he's playing these two cards right now. For one, he's hoping by throwing them bombs, out of the target, maybe he can hit something. Two, he's trying to make the people move or stand against the Tigray government and against TDF. So he's playing these two cards. That's what he is doing. But he will never be successful because, like you earlier mentioned, Mengistu Haile Mariam did the same thing. He burned the entire Eritrea and he burned the entire Tigray. But guess what happened? It doesn't stop the revolution, and Mengistu Haile Mariam flee the country, and TPLF took the power. And this is going to happen now as well, because Abiy Ahmed is going to leave Ethiopia soon. Abiy Ahmed lost the war in Tigray. Isaias Afwerki lost the war in Tigray, and he cannot control Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a failed state. Ethiopia doesn't exist anymore. There are so many countries that involved in this war. The Eritrean troops are actively engaging. Ethiopia is a failed state. If you go to the east part of the east region of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed or the Ethiopian government doesn't control that. We can go to the west, the same thing. So Abiy Ahmed is in his final 11 hours, and he is about to flee the country. He's going to leave the country, or something's going to come up. So, but as we all know, TDF is pushing hard. It's gone inside the Ethiopian regions. And why are we going to the Ethiopian regions? I will answer that question later. Thank you.
Thank you. Ato Barakat, so do you see this war coming to an end anytime soon?
Well, I mean, let me go back to what Fresgi articulated in terms of first Abiy and his stupid advisors initially think that by bombing Mekelle they can reverse the war. That's works to the contrary for what they believe. I think what we have to know is, of course, Ephraim articulated how he feels what's going on. All of us are feeling that pain. Nevertheless, the sorrow will remain with us in our heart. The anger is already displayed through our gallant forces, still heart and determination. And that's what is going on every day. And in terms of, he cuts the electricity, he cuts the telecommunication, he cuts the bank. Every social service has been destroyed, so that he can kill, he can destroy, loot. But the last, for almost 11 months and a half, we, the diaspora, have been the ears and the eyes of our community. After now, maybe more pressure we see, the more brutality we see, we always come together to advocate and expose what's going on in Tigray. If it wasn't for the diaspora, as much as the credit goes to Tigray Defense Forces, the diaspora has done also to expose and to rally, even among Tigrayans diaspora who have a different political outlook. Now, all Tigrayans are united because the purpose is to defeat those forces of destruction. And our unity is getting stronger day by day to do more advocacy. We have a lot of work to do until those forces of destruction and fascists are eliminated. Not only enough to get rid of them from Tigray, but to get rid of them from the surface of the earth. I will say that, because they are not words. As far as, yes, the war is winding. This is because this is a desperate attempt that is being displayed by this arrogant fascist regime. Because when you lose hope, you do all these crazy things. You're trying to maximize pain on the population. It is not new. He has done it for almost 11 years. I mean, rape, loot, kill. What else? Now he is bombarding the same people he has targeted for 11 months. Yes, we can see more of those things, but it just helps us to more unite, more to join the Great Defense Forces, more to do the advocacy work. So whether this regime dies or not, which I am, is the hope. We'll be whining for 3 months, for 3 weeks or 2 weeks, even less than that. But our we should not be relaxed because of what is taking place in terms of the victory by Tigray Defense Forces around the Dessie or Bahar Dar, whatnot. But as a diaspora, let's focus as a diaspora, our work just began. Just began because we have the rehabilitation, we have the advocacy. Still, there are a lot of work. So such aerostrikes are uniting more Tigrayans to work around advocacy work. That's just example for today's Portland event.
Thank you, Ata Berkat. So I'm going to come back to you, Ephraim. So then we're going to switch back to Tigrinya. But before we do, in English, the fight is very intensified right now. In fact, Tigray television, somebody just messaged me while they were trying to call me, and I had to let them know that I'm live right now. But Tigray television is currently showing an event that is just taking place on the ground. So for those of you who are tuned into Tigray television, this is what Tigray TV is showing as we speak.
ዘመቻ ንጋት በሚል የጀመረውን የማጥቃትና የጸረ ማጥቃት ዘመቻ በመቀጠል ትላንት ሐይቅንና ዲስቲማን ከተሞችን የተቋጠረው ጀግናው የትግራይ ሰራዊት የደሴና ኮምቦልቻ ከተሞችን በመድፍ ቀለበት ላይ አስገብቷል። ትግራይ ሰራዊት
So, Ephraim, coming back to you, the question just happened to be ironic, but military, you were a fighter yourself. I did not plan it that way. Somebody just messaged me. They say, you got to see this. What you see here is what you've gone through yourself. When you see this, these young men and women, they are just fighting to hundreds of thousands of Eritreans and Ethiopian military on the front line with the Amhara militia. And to me, when I see this, one of the things that amazes me is the tank that you saw TDF firing at the enemies. The weapon that the Tigrayan Defense Forces or TDF is using is a weapon that was taken away by force from the enemy. And I have to say this to you guys. The Ethiopian National Defense Force, known as before, is today known as the Ethiopian National Delivery Force, better than FedEx.
That's good. That's a good abbreviation that you create. Ethiopian National Defense Force is not anymore Ethiopian National Defense Force. Actually, it's just delivering whatever is, not FedEx. Like I don't know what they are delivering, but anyways, let me tell you something. I know you want to be, you want us to be concise, because this is a kind of what you are trying to go is media, because people, especially our people, they like to talk, and then you just have to wait. And then, you welcome to interrupt me. You welcome to interrupt everybody. And then we're just going to make it like hard talk, okay? This is what we are practicing right now. So we are doing this between Mickey and I, so everybody can feel comfortable when they are interrupted. Being saying that, your question is right now, okay, what's winning? First of all, no dictator government has never win in the world. Not Abiy, not Mangusta Haile Mariam, not anything from the world, if you call it. But the war between Ethiopia and Tigray was, what did they say first when we get rid of them from Tigray? They said we were trying to fight with junta, but the entire Tigray people were like, fighting us. That's what they said, right? How about now? We are not in Tigray, right? We are in Amhara region. But the people of Amhara, if they don't like us, they can get rid of us in any time. Okay, we have a support from people. The only thing that the majority of people they know what Abiy is doing. I don't know if he saw or watched what Derbu said in Dessie. He said those who organizing and fighting with military of defense, INDEF, whatever the abbreviation that he called them, they were part of the TPLF. I don't know, directly you can translate the word, what he said. I can send you the link and then you can play it. They are very paranoid. First of all, they don't have no support from the people of Ethiopia. Those few who own this speaker or medias are the one that are fighting with us. They are those few in power only. Most of the Ethiopian people, they know what we have done for the last 27 years. TPLF never done alone any kind of crime in Ethiopia. We've been doing the right thing. Of course, we had some we have some difficulties in practicing the democracy. The main problem when we were in power, the main problem was, Tedros Afro was like, or Bertukwana Shagre. Somebody was saying this and then he's in court. Like, few, and of course there are some issues as well, but we never had such kind of ethnicity problem or any other problems. Even this war, if you see that, it's not about between Biltzegana and TPLF only. It's between the Biltzegana party and the entire Tigray, between Biltzegana party and the entire people of Afar. Afar people are now joining Tigray Defense Force. The Amhara people, the Command people, the Ago people are now joining Tigray Defense Force.
Not the Amhara though. Just like
there is no Amhara. What I'm saying,
well, no, there's Wollo, Shua. So no, hold on.
Okay.
No. So there's Wollo, there's Shua, there's Amhara, there's Command, and there's Agab. Command and Agab is joining TDF, but Amhara is not joining TDF.
Okay, there is actually we're not going through this because we know that to begin with we had some problems regioning the Ethiopia. I don't think we have Amhara region anymore because I agree with you. The command people, the Ago people are joining the Tigray Defense Force because they know what Abiy is doing. So the reason why we are winning is because these people in power are not expecting us who we are. They are not expecting our self-determination. They are not expecting the people who we elect. So this is not going to work. We are going to the principle. We are following the principle of the Constitution. We are following the Constitution is the only thing that we can hold us together as Ethiopians, as Tigrayans. But if you not following the Constitution, nothing is not going to hold you. So he's bombarding Tigray. Tomorrow he will bombard Amhara Killil. He bombarded Wallaga Oromo people because they are lawless. They're not following anything. He's just trying to stay in power, whatever his mom told him to do, without following the rules and respecting our people. So I think that's the main thing. I don't want to.
So first, I'm going to come to you. I was going to switch to Tigrinya, but I'm going to just ask one other question real quickly. It's similar. Tigray television right now is showing clips what have happened in the last 24 hours, the heavy fighting that's taking place. But clearly on the clip that I show, and it's long video, so I want us to condense our time. But what they're showing is a determined young women and men of Tigray fighting for their survival. But when they do fight, they're actually doing pretty darn good. So again, I've asked earlier that question. You see this, I cannot be any more prouder than this when I see my people, when I see our people in this level taking tanks from the enemy, which is why I say the former Ethiopian National Defense Force now is called the Ethiopian National Delivery Force, better than FedEx. I mean, could you come up with a better system than having million, if not billions of dollars spent on hardware and weapons to bring it from Iran, Turkey, Russia, China, and then you come to a 7.7 million people or so in Tigray, less than 10 million, and the very people, these young people that are determined, are yanking the weapons that you bring to kill these people, and they use it against you. I mean, what a bittersweet. Of course, our people are still dying. Of course, famine is happening, what Ephraim said earlier. A man-made famine, by the way, to clarify. These famine that we're talking about in Tigray is made by Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia. When you put that together, I feel like, Tigray is headed in the right direction, but in the short term, our people still suffers. Our responsibility in the diaspora is what?
Well, we discussed this earlier. So it's we have survived. So there is a big difference between the Ethiopian army and the Tigray army. The Ethiopian army doesn't have no cause or no reason. They don't even know why they're fighting. But we do know. TDF knows why they're fighting. They're fighting for their people. They're fighting for their freedom. They're fighting for their survival. So that's the difference. The other night you show up the little clip that 15 years old Ethiopian soldier, what he was saying on his messaging. He doesn't even know where he's gone. So they give him the uniform and they taught him for a week and they send him to the war zone. So that's the big difference between the two armies, the Ethiopian army and the Tigray Defense Forces. So that's why we are winning and they are losing, because they don't know what they're fighting. We do know why we're fighting. We are fighting for our existence. We are fighting for our girls, our women, our nuns who was raped for the past 11 months. We are fighting for the monastery, for the mosques, for the factories, for all our resources that was destroyed for the last 11 months and a half. We are fighting for our existence and to live as Tigrayans in this face of Earth. So that's the big difference. That's why you said it well earlier. Dictators never won. It's the same thing. The Ethiopian troop, they will never win. They will lose because they don't know what. And also, you have to remember that we're not afraid to die because someone is going to come kill me, and I'm going to try to kill him before I die. But them, they don't want to die. They just want to come and kill. That's the difference. So that is the reason. So, I'll be proud to be a part of this amazing race called Tagaru. So I am proud of my TDF. I am proud of the diaspora. I am proud of my government. And I am proud of my people all in general, because we are resilient. We come back and we stand up higher, stronger with confidence. And that's what's going to happen soon. So we're going to be shining again in the face of Earth, especially in this East Africa region called Ethiopia, whatever our name is going to be in the future. Whether we're going to live under Ethiopia or we're going to live by ourselves. But we're going to survive, and we are going to stand up higher and higher and higher. So, this is the easy way I can take all night talking about this, but, we have a lot to cover. So let me keep it short.
Thank you, Fresgy. I think you said it beautifully. I agree with you 100%. And you know what? I love your necklace.
Thank you. Yes.
So for those of you who are following us, for those of you who are old-fashioned, let me just be clear. This is Hard Talk Cyber. We are going to interrupt each other. We're going to cut each other off. We're going to keep the topic rolling. So if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but you know what? You are a little bit behind. So catch on, okay? This is democracy. So we're gonna roll with it. All right. So expect interruption. So listen, we're gonna switch to Tigrinya real quick because
Let me say a few things before you switch to Tigrinya. I
Unmute
think
yourself, Ephraim.
as the saying goes,
Ephraim, you gotta unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I found the video about the previous conversation. If you guys would like me to play, I can play it for you. How paranoid the Ethiopian government are. Would you like me to do that, Barakat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. There you go.
በጠላት ቁጥጥር ስር ገባ እንደ ትናንትና ነበር ማለት እንደዛሬ ነበር። ከዛ ጀምሮ የነበሩት ምንድን ናቸው? ቁጭቱ አለ። ጠላትን ጉዳት እያደረሰብኝ ነው ብሎ እዛው የደረሰበት አካባቢ ይቆጫል፣ ግን መደማመጥ አልነበር። ይሄ ያስከፈለን ዋጋ ልንገራችሁ፣ ለጠላት ምን ያህል እንዳገዘ ብዙ ምሳሌዎች አሉ። ሁለት ላንሳላችሁ በየቦታው እያነንትን እያሉ የማነሳቸው ናቸው። አንድ መርሳ ላይ ወጣቱ በዛው አካባቢ ሰለጠነ፣ በአካባቢው ተደራጀ። ኋላ ምንም አደረጃጀት አልነበረም። ብዙ የሞብ ዝም ብሎ የጅምላ እንትን የነበረበት ነው። መከላከያ ወልዲያ ጊዜው ስላለፈ ልንገራችሁ፣ በጭፍራ በኩል የከባድ መሳሪያ ተተኳሽ ጎደለው እና ያንን ለማሟላት ጭኖ ከወልዲያ ቀንሶ ወደ ጭፍራ ለማዞር በመርሳ መጣ። መርሳ ላይ ሲደርስ ይሄ ሰለጠንኩ የሚለው በአግባቡ ዓላማውን እና በአግባቡ ያልተደራጀ ውስጡን ያላጠራ ወጣት አግዶ ያዘ። ሁለት ቀን አቆየው። ጦርነቱ መድረስ ያለበት ሳይደርስ ቀረ። ኋላ ለቀ መከላከያ እንዳይመታም ተቸገረ። ያንን ወጣት ሲያስተባብሩት የነበሩት ወጣቶች የተደራጁ አመራር የሚሰጣቸው ኃይል ያለ ነው። መዋቅር ያለው በህቡ የተደራጁ መርሳን ጠላት እንደተቆጣጠረ የመርሳ ከተማ አስተባባሪዎች ሆኑ። ያንን ወጣት ሲያስተባብሩት የነበሩ ልክ ገባቸው። አልገባቸው። Please, Barakat, interpret this to Mike because I'm Harinya or Fresgi.
This is
because Mike, I don't think Mike will understand this.
He will.
I don't understand half of what he said.
Yeah. Instead of accepting their defeat, they will make excuses and eat each other and blame each other. So this is a typical of a desperate attempt that you always see whenever something falls in the crack. Then the pointing comes. He is the one who did it. She is the one who did it. This is a typical when dictators lose everything. So it shows me that it is out of their control. They could not.
They finger point at us or at each other?
Yeah, at each other. I mean, okay. I'm talking about at each other when I am referring to themselves to us. So, I mean, in a final, it is a good indication, by the way, Ephraim. It shows that they are disintegrating. Even they could not command their own troops, let alone. Suffice to say that what really amazes me is our gallant forces, their zeal and determination to capture a tank with a Kalashnikov. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to explain to you. I mean, tank versus Kalashnikov. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So the bravery that was displayed the last 11 months is something in the history of wars will be an exemplary in the world of wars that has been fought. I mean, on my existence, I mean, we have seen 3 brutal regimes but I have never seen a state, a small state, descending by Arab drones, 42 divisions from Eritrea, Ethiopian Defense Forces, for an army of less than 8,000. Come on, for an army of 8,000. Of course, those army 10,000, they have the full support of the Tigrayan people. So this is a bravery. I mean, it's not something that all of us that we should be proud of who we are. Actually, because of them, we are working high to be who we are. It is because of them. The world is noticed who are those Tigrayans that have defeated one of the biggest army divisions in Africa with neighboring and Arab drones. So I think this is one of the things that really many of us trying to do more on the advocacy of work. Those, they have future like anybody. They want to have education, they want to marry, they want to live like any human being. Sorry, but for them, the country and the people comes first. And whatever we do here, really, we have to remind ourselves that the price that has been paid in terms of life is too much for many of us. That's what we have to work continuously. And cyber power, on this occasion, I would like to extend my gratitude in terms of giving us a space to air, to consult, to give hope to our people and share the information that we get from different sources. So, I mean, Mike, I don't know, I just don't have enough words to describe the bravery of the gallant youths and the leadership of Tigray Defense Forces. And most of those aged people, I mean, they are working like the youth. They are, I mean, from the comfort zones. They are just like any ordinary Tagadalai. You know, when you age, you have so many complications, diabetics, whatnot, blood pressure, but that's not something that prevented them. Just admire them. I mean, this is, you have to admire them. You know, there are some of them on the late 60s, early 70s, but they are just walking like a youth and giving a precise strategic military leadership. So you are in mute. So I will finish here, Mike.
No, I was agreeing with you, but you know what's interesting is they're actually admiring the diaspora instead of admiring themselves. While they do so much of the work, they're appreciating our work, saying because of what we do is the strength that they have to continue what they do. And you know, I've said this on the other night with Fres. You know, I think when I saw him in New York in early January, just the jumping up and down, the energy I saw, I had no idea he was actually over 18.
Yeah, he is in his mind.
Well,
age of the number, Mike.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, I think we should talk about the HR 445 that they just in a little bit before. I hope Mike understands what Degu said. نشتي بتقريني حق السؤال كان سا توانا قلال صوم أبي أنت عيلو مجمرة جونتان سناشنف بوجع ينبرد
تقريني باربر بمحارنيا تتزارب كايرا
يا زغورو إنا سعرنا يوم
بمحارنيا يترجم الله
يا ترى دي كارو كوميلو مالتيو ده حرجن حزب تجراي أشياء لا قليلة كل سب سلاز وعن السراويتنا ناي حزب خنورر سلاز يكون إنا وصينا يلو exactly دغو دما exactly دغو تايلو وطاታት ኣብ ደሴ ዝነው ኣብ መርሳ ዝነበሩን ዘብሉ ዝነበሩን መከላከያ ካብ መርሳ መድፍዕ ጥይት ወዲኦም ከምፁ ኮይዶም ናብ ደሴ ካብ ደሴ ናይ መድፍዕ ጥያይት ሒዞም ክምለሱ ከለው
ቶም መንእስያት ወቂዖሞም ብድሕሪኡ ፀላኢ ዛጋጣሚ እዚኣ ተጠቂሙ ብዘይካ ከቢድ መሳርያ ስለ ዝተዋግዐ እንቶምኡ ዝነበሩ ደምሲሱ ናባናት ተፀጊዑ ይልካ እዞም ከምዚ ዝገበሩ ዝነበሩ መንእሰያት ግን ድሓር መርሳ ምስ ተቆፃፀርዋ ናይ መርሳ መመሓዳደርቲ ተባሂሎም ተመሪፆም ብቲዲኤፍ ስለዚ እንታይ ዝብል ዘሎ ህዝቢ ኣምሓራ እውን በቃ ህዝብስ ደጀና ኣይኮነን እዩ ዝብል ዘሎ በቃ the same thing ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ህዝብና ኣይኮነን ሙሽ ኢሎምዎ ንህዝቢ ኣምሓራ እውን ይክሕድዎ ኣለዎ ሕዚ በቃ ሕዚ እውን ሓደ ነገር ሃጠን እንደገይሩ ህዝቢ እዩ ወቂዕና እምበር ንሕና ምስ TDF ኣይኮነን ስዒርና ክብሉ እዮም ማለት እዩ ኣብ ኣምሓራ ዓዲ እውን ኣትዮም ማለት እዩ that's exactly word by word መን ስሙ ደጉ ዝተዛረባ ማለት እዩ
by the way less than 5% የሰሚዑ እምበር 95% ብእውነት ኢኻ ይስማዕ ኣይተረድአንን ዝበሎ ትትብሎ ዘለካ ግና ኣይ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ወቂዕዎም ወይ ንሓረድዎ እናቐተልዎ እንታይ ዳ ክገብር
ኤግዛክትሊ ድማ ሓዚ ከምኡ ዝብል ዘሎ ኣብ ኣምሓራ እውን ህዝቢ ዝወቅዓና ዘሎ እዮም ዝብሉ ዘሎ ዳ ሚንስ ፅባሕ ህዝቢ ናይ ኣምሓራ እውን ደጀና ኣይኮነን ስለዚ እዞም ሰዓት እዚኣቶም ህዝቢ እውን ይሰዓር ኣለዎ ኣብ ትግራይ እውን ተሳዒሮም ህዝቢ ይደገፎምን ኣብ ኣምሓራ እውን ህዝቢ ይድግፎምን ዘሎ እቲ መንእሰይ ጠቕላላ ነቲ መከላከያ ዝወቅዑ ዝነበሩ መንእሰያት ከይዶም ኣብ መርሳ ተመሪፆም መመሓደርቲ ኮይኖም ዝብሎም ዘሎ ዳ ሚንስ ህዝቢ ምሳና ኣይኮነን ገባችሁ ኢልዎም ኣሆ ኢሎምዎ አልገባችሁም ወዳቱ
እወ ክትብሎ ዘለካ ኩሒዚ እቲ ህዝቢ ብኣየር ሒዚ ብቀዳማይስ ኣብ እቲ መርሳ ካሊእ ቦታታት ኮነ እየ ብድሮን ብኣየር ናይ ኣምሓራ ህዝቢ ኮ ተደብዲቡ ናይ ትግራይ ህዝቢ ኮ ኣይኮነን ኣብ መቐለ እዩ ህዝብ ሲቪሊየን ዝወቅዕ ዘሎ እምበር ኣብ ዓዲ ኣምሓራ ክልል ኣየር ዝወቅዕ ዘሎ ንቲዲኤፍ ኣይኮነን ቲዲኤፍ ኮ ኣይንሪኦን ጥይት ክወቅዐና ኢና ንወድቕ ብፀድና ንርኢ እምበር ንሱ በበይ ይመፅእ TDF በበይ ኣቱ TDF ሰይንሪኦን ዘለና ኮይም ዝብሉ ዘለዉ
በል ማይክ ኣብዚ ሓደ ነገር ክንሪኦ ዝግበአና ነገር ተሃልዩ እቱ ኣብ ተተሓዘ ቦታ ዝወፅእ ዘለዉ ነበርቲ ብናይ ኣምሓራ ፕሮፓጋንዳ እናተታለሉ ውፁ እናብልዎም እዮም ንፕሮፓጋንዳ ኮንሳምፕሽን ምእንቲ ክስምዖም ግን ኣብ TDF ዘለዎ ቦታ ከምዚ ትፈልጦ ህዝቢ ተረጋጊዑ ክኸይድ ብዙሕ ፈተናታት እናተገበረ እዩ ግን ቁሩብ በቲ ናይ ኣምሓራ ፕሮፓጋንዳ ተደናጊፆም ዝወፁ ኣለዉ ነቲ ናይ ፖለቲካ ኮንሳምፕሽን ክበሃል ስለዚ እቱ ሕዚ እውን እንደዚ ተፈናቂሉ ገለመለ ኢሎም መለመኒ ገንዘብ ዝገብርዎ ዘለዉ ኣብዚ ዳያስፖራ ብቱናታቶም ብልናይ ገዱ ዝመፀ ናይ ርካሽ ፖለቲካ ናይ ፖለቲካ ፕሮፓጋንዳ እዩ እምበር ኣብ ተተሓዘ ቦታ ምንም ልበፅሐ ጉዳት የለይ አንላይክ ኣብ ዓድና ዝተገበረ እሳቶም ኣብ ዝሓዝዎ ቦታ ኣብቲ እዋንሱ ብዙሕ ኣትሮሲቲ ብናይ ፋኖ ብናይ ኤርትራን ዲፌንስ ፎርስስ ብናይ ኢትዮጵያን ፎርስስ ብዙሕ ግፍዕታት ተገይሩ እዩ ብኣንፃሩ ግን ኣብ ተተሓዘ ቦታ ዓንተዎ ከም ዝበልካዮ ምንም ነገር ዓይነት ይግበረለይ ስለዚ እዚ ዓይነትና ስለዝርኢ ዘሎ እቲ ህዝቢ ንምንታይ ኢና ንመውት ኢሉ ተረጋጊዑ ይኸይድ ኣሎ ክብለካ ደለየ
እዚ እኮ ትኽክል እዩ እቲ ህዝቢ ትገፍዕ ዝበፅሖ ህዝቢ ንሳቶም ንተወሰነ ግዜታት ከምቲ ኤፍሬም ዓንትዎ ዘሎ ብእንግሊዝኛ መብራህቲ ቆሪፆም ኢንተርኔት ቆሪፆም ናይ ዓለም ህዝቢ ድምፂ ናይ ትግራይ ግፍዒ ናይ ትግራይ ከይርዮ ከይፈልጦ ኣብቲ መጀመርታ እኮ ኣብይ ኣሕመድ በብዝሓሰበሉ ቦታ ናይ ዓለም ዩናይትድ ኔሽን ተይቀረ እኮ ያምነ እኮ ነይሩ ይቕበሎ እኮ ነይሩ ትሕሶት ኣብ መጨረሹ ግን ሓቅነት ዘይብሉ ዘይቕፅል ምዃኑ ተራእዩ እዚ ንኣብነት ኣነ እዛ ስክሪን እዚኣ ዘሪኦኩም ዘለኹ ታያ ናይ ሚድያ DW ቴሌቪዥን ዝሓለፈ ናይ ብ80 ዓመተ ምህረት ማለት እዩ ናይ ሓውዝየን ድብዳቤ ተገበሮ ደርጊ እውን ኮሽዑ ከም ዘይገበሮ ክድብቆ እኮ ይመኪርዎ ነይሩ ሕዚ እቶም ናይ ደርጊ ዝነበሩ ናይ ቀደም ንሶም እኮ እዮም ከም እንደገና ሕዚ ንኣብይ ኣሕመድ ኣማኸርቲ ንኣብይ ኣሕመድ ወነንቲ ንስ ኢሳያስ ኮይኖም ዝሰርሑ ዘለዉ እኮ ናይ ደርጊ ዝነበሩ እኮ እዮም እዚ ኣብ ሓውዝየን ተገበረ ግን እቲ ሓድሽ ወለዶ ናይ ሂዝ ዘሎ ምሳና ዳያስፖራ ናይ 11 ወርሒ ሙሉእ سلاماو سلف زوصي إذن حاوزين تجبر جفنا عمنا تيفضل سنبوازيا
ከ2500 በላይ ንጹሃን ዜጎች በጭካኔ የተጨፈጨፉበት ቀንን ለመዘከር ከቆመው ሐውልት ስር ሆኜ ታሪክን ዮሐንስ ላስቃኛችሁ እዚህ ሐውዜን ከተማ ተገኝቻለሁ።
በመላ ድርጅቱ የሰርኩሌት ተላልፎ ዜናው ሲነገር በመሪው በተመሪው በሁሉም ቁጭት ነው የፈጠረው።
ከ600 ህዝብ በላይም በህንጻው ፍርሽራሽ ተቀበረ። ይህ ብቻ አይደለም። በአጋጣሚ ወይም በእድል ከተረፉ ጥቂት ቤቶች በስተቀር በአካባቢው የነበሩ ህንጻዎች እንዳለ ወድመዋል።
አባታችን እናታችን እህቶቻችን በጣም ጓዳ ያስቀረኝ ስርዓት ነው ማለት ነው። ከዛ በኋላ ምን ትዝ ይለኛል ለህዝቡ ሲገልጸው ደርግ ራሱ እዛም ሰሜን ሸዋ አካባቢ ስንደርስ መግለጫ ሰጥተናል። ታጋይ አላለም። የትግራይ ህዝብ አቤታው ሰራዊታችን እንዳንበጣ መንጋ ወሮ እየቀጠቀጠ ትግራይ ለፍትሃዊ እምቢታ አገባ እምቢ ባይ
እና እዚ ቪዲዮ ነዊሕ እዩ ግን እታ ሕፅረቢለ ዘርእኹም እንታይ እዩ ኣብ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ሎሚ ጥራይ ኣይኮነን ግፍዒ ተሰሪሑ ኣብ ሂወትና ንሕና ኣብዚ 4 ዝኔና ኣሕዋት ተወሊድና እንተለና ግፍዒ ተሰርሐ እዚ ግፍዒ እዚዩ ናይ ሂዚ 40 ዓመት እዩ ኣብ ትግራይ እዩ ኣብ ህዝብና ኣብ ዕዳጋ ዝነበረ ኣዶታት ደቀን ሓዚለን ከም ዝርእኹሞ ዝግፍዕ እዚ ስኢ ብስሩስ ኮነ ኢሎም ንኣና ንህዝብና ንኸጥፍኡ ቁፅርና ንክቅንሱ ዘለኣለም ሞንጆሪኖ እውን ኣብ ዝቐረባ ግዜ ዝወለቶ እንታይ እዩ ኣብ ስኖም ቀርቂሮም እዮም ፅልኦም 27 ዓመት ሓቢኦም ሞ ተደቢቆም ምሳና ኢላ ተዛሪባ ኣብዚ ብናይ ትግራይ ቴሌቪዥን ኢንተርቪው ዝግበር ተላ ኣብዚ ሓደ ወርሕን ገለን ንኸውን ሂዚ እና ኣይኖ ኤፍሬም ይረካ ኣለኹ ከምዚ ክትርኢ ተለካ ስኢ እንታይ ዓይነት ንሕና ስኢ ኣነ ብቐዳማይ እውን ሓይተኩም ነይረ እየ ፍለዝግና ኣተበረካ ከምዚ ዝገብረካ ህዝቢ ስኢ ከመይ ጌርና ኢና ምስኦም ስኢ ዝኩሉ ዓመታት ክንቅመጥ ይኽእልና ኣነ ክርደአነ ይኽእልን እቲ ቋንቋ ተምሓርኛ ቋንቋ ምፍላጥ ፅቡቅ እዩ ባይዘወይ ኣነ ግን I'm glad in many ways to ቋንቋም እንኳ ኣይተማርኩዎ anyway jump in for any discussion open you
well you said it all by the way ኣብ ዕድመና ኣብ 20 ዓመት ውሽጢ እውን ንዓይደር እውን ክርስዖ የብልናን
thank you
ዓይደር እውን ያው ፈተውትና ብንብሎም ብዙሕ መንግስቲ ከቋቁሙ ዝሓገዝናዮም ኣብ ቃልሲ ናይ ቃልሲ ማሕዝነት ጌርና ክሳዕ መጨረሻ ደምና ዘፍሰስናሎም ከምዚ ዓይነት እውን ገጢሙና እዩ ብዘይ ሓሰብናዮ ያው ህፃውንቲ ቆልዑ ኣብዚ ምንም ትርጉም ዝኣቲ ዘይብሉ ኦፐሬሽን ካብቲ ናይ ሚሊተሪ ኢንስትሩክሽን ዝሓቐ ኣብ ትምህርቲ ቤት ፎካስ ዝገበረ ብዙሕ ህፃውንቲ ዘጥፍአ ካብ ፈተውትና ንብሎም እዩ ብፍላይ ከምዚ ዓይነት ኣትሮሲቲ ክህሊ ከሎ ሓደ ነገር ብዙሓት ብፍላይ ኤርትራውያን ኣሕዋትና ብዙሕ ዘይርድእዎ ነገራት ኣሎ ኣነ ብዙሓት ቃልሲ ገይሮም ክሳዕ ዘኽቲ ነፃነት ክጎናፀፉ ዘይከኣሉ ሃገራት ኣለዉ ንኣብነት ዝኣክል ስፔን ቦስክ ኣብ ሶማልያ ፖሊሳሪዮ ኣብ ሞሮኮ እዚኣቶም ተቐሊሶም ብዙሕ ቃልሲ ይገብር ኣለዉ ኣይርሽ እውን ከምኡ ግን እቲ መንግስቲ ዘሎ ዓዲ ክንግንፀሉ ስለ ዘይፈቐደሎም ክሳዕ ዝኽቲ ይሰቃይ ኣለዉ መንግስቲ ኣብ ናይ ኤርትራ ኩነታት ድማ ምናልባት ለኣቶም ዝሕግዝ መንግስቲ ከምዘይሃለየ ነይሩ ናይ ኤርትራ መንግስቲ ምዃን ተግባራዊ ይኸውን ነይሩ This is a United Nations mandate ማንም ሰብ ክሪኦ ይኽእል እዩ እና ሲምፓታይዝ ዝገብር ልናታቶም ቃልሲ ዝድግፍ መንግስቲ ብምህላው መንግስቲ ትግራይ እዚ ኸዚ ነፃነት ዝበሃል ዘሎ ነፃነት ረኺቦም ኣለዉ which they never give credit by any measure እና ታዩ ንሕና ተጋሩ ክንሓስብን ክነብል ዘለና ናባዓልትና ክንገብር ኣለና እቶ ዓንተው ዝበልካዮ ተደጋጋሚ አትሮሲቲ ተፈፂምና ዘሎ ብትምህርቲ ብናይ ኢንጂነሪንግ ዲፌንስ ብናይ ሞደርን ናይ ሚሊተሪ ኮነ ናይ ኢንዱስትሪያል ክንመሃር ክንምዕብል ከም እስራኤል ዓድና ፕሮቴክት ገርና ከንብረና ዝኽእል ብቕዓት ኣለና ኢለ ይኣምን እየ ምክንያቱም ልድሕሪት ከምዚ ኮይንና እናበልና ላነባዕና ኣይንነብርን ክኸውን እውን የብሉን እዚ ኸዚ በፂሑ ዘሎ ብፍላይ ሃምዙ ዝሓለፈ ትውልዲ ዝፃወሮ ኣይኮነን ኣነ ብግልፂ ክናገረካ ኣይፃወሮን ቅድሚ ኸዚ እንታይ እዩ ኢን ዘ ሆፕ ፌደራሊዝም ትትባሃለ ሓቢርካ ብማዕረ ሓደ ካብ ብላዕላይ ብታሕታይ ተዘይተረኣየ ዝኩሉ መስዋዕትነት ከፊልና ማዕረ ኢና ዝኾንና ምስ ካልኦት እንዲያውም ንኻልኦት እዩ ሞር ዝትገበር ኣሎ ብቱ ኩናት ብጥሜት ዝትጎድአ ሕብረተሰብ ምንም ነገር ዝረኸቦ ነገር የለን ካብ 3 ዩኒቨርሲቲ ላብ 50 ገለ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ኮታስ እንታይ ክብለካ ብኢኮኖሚ ብገለ ግን መጨረሻው እንታይ እዩ ዝኩሉ ጌርካ እተን ትገበራ ኣብ ትግራይ ንእሽተይ ዝነበራ ትካላት ኣብ ዓይናቶም ደም መሊኡ ብጎረቤት ሃገርን ብዞም ኣምሓራን ለኣተን ከዕንቡ ለኣና መንነትና ከጥፍኡ ዓብይ ዘመተ ገይሩ ስለዚ ብሓፂሩ ልድሕሪ ኸዚ ትግራዋይ ለማንም ሓይሊ ኣይንብርከኽን እዚ ክስመረሉ ኣለዎ ብምንም ዓይነት መልክዕ ኣብዚ ደረጃ እዚ በፂሕና ዘለና እዚ ናይ ኸዚ መስዋዕትነት ናይ ትግራይ ዘለዓለማዊነት ዘንብር ተጋሩ ዘተባብዕ ምናልባት እውን ሃገር ትግራይ ከምስርት ዝኽእል እጃመ ኣለዎ ኢለ ይኣምን እየ ብወገነይ ምክንያቱም አንቶም ሚኪ ከም ዝበልካዮ እዚ ኩሉ እዚ ልድሕሪት ክትርኢ ተለኻ እንታይ ኢና ኮይንና ንሕና ዘይረአናዮ እንታይ ኢና ኮይንና እዚ ኩሉ ግፍዕ ላተረአየስ ብምንታይ ዓይነት መልክዕና ተስፋ ጌርና ምዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ከንብረና ዝኸኣለ ሳይኪክሲ እንታይ እዩ እናበለኻ ብሕሊናኻ ክትሪኦ ተለኻ we made mistake we gamble I assure you ልድሕሪ ኸዚ ግን ትግራይ ተጠናኺራ ከም ዓብይ ዓዲ ብኢኮኖሚን ብሚሊተርን ብሓደነትን ዝማዕበለት ዓዲ ከም እትኸውን ተስፋ ይገብር
ፍረዝጊ ናይ ኤርትራ ንእሽተይትን ክፍ ኣቢልዋ ነይሩ እዩ በረከት ሓውና ኤርትራ ሒዚ ያው ብዙሕ ኣብቲ ናይ ትግራይ ቦርደራት ሰራዊት ብጣዕሚ ይክብ ኣሎ ካብ ሕሞራ እውን ከምቲ ዝሰማዕናዮ ተወሰነ ሓይለ ውፅኡ ዲፈንስ ዲ ዝሕዝ ዘሎስ ብኮምቦልቻ ብደሴ ሒዚ ዝቋፀር ንሕና ንቋፀር ምኳንና ፈሊጡ ብጎንደር ብድባርቕ ብገሺና መብዛሕትኡ ቦታ እዚ እውን ኩናት እናተኻየደ ስለ ዘሎና ፅባሕ ንጎ እተን ካልኦት ከተማታት ናይ ጎንደር ናይ ባህር ዳር እዘን ዓበይቲ እዚአን ከተማታት እውን ድሕሪ ደሴ መሓዝና ስለ ዘይቀርየናስ ክጠፍእ እየ ኢሉ ፈሪሑ ንኣና ክደፍእ ክወቅዕ ድዩ እንታይ እዩ ክንሓስቦ እንተለና ሲ ኣይኖ ስፔኪሌሽን እዩ ብግምት ምዝራብ ታሽ ትክክል ኣይኮነን ግን ከምዚ ዓይነት ክገብር ተሎስ እቲ ኤርትራ ኣሕዋትና ንብሎ ዘለና ህዝቢ ሓደ ኣበይ እዩ ዝኒሄ ደቂሱ እንታይ ኮይኑ ዘይወፅእ ዘሎ እንደገና ካሲ ናይ ብሓቂ ኣሕዋትና ንብሎም ኤርትራውያን ኣብዚ ሰዓት እዚዩ ወፂኦም ድምፆም ዘየስምዑሉ ምክንያት እንታይ እዩ ዝሕዞም ኣነ ክርደአኒ ይኽእልና ኣብዚያ ሓሳብ ናትካ ሸር ግበረልና ነቲ ናይ ሳይበር ፓወር ትግራይ ሚድያ ዝከታተልና ዘሎ ህዝቢ ብዓለም ሙሉእ እቲ ሓደ ግዜ ናይ ፖለቲካ ሕፅረት ክወሎ ስለ ዘሎ ኣብዚዩ ብናይ ባዕልና ትዕድል እንዳጋጣሚ ኮይኑ ከም ዝበልካ ዓንቶም ተራኺብና ስለ ዘለና ነናይ ባዕልና ሓሳብ ዩቲ ነቕርቦ ዘለና እና ሰውዚ እንታይ ናትካ ዝርአየካ ዘሎ ዓድዮ ታሽሚ ኮይኑ ዘሎ ድምፅኻ ኣይትስማዕን ዘለኻ ብስሩ እሞ እታ ጥያቄ ኤፍሬም ናባኻ ከምፅኣ እየ ምክንያቱ ዓድዮ ፀገም ስለ ዘለና ምስ ፍረዝ ዓድዮ እስካብ ተስተኻኽል እታ ጥያቄ ናብ ኤፍሬም ክቅይራ ይቅርታ
ፅቡቅ
ዓድዮ ምንና ይስማ
እሞ ወፅል እቲ እንታይ ስሙ ዝርዝሩ ኩለኹም ብስፍሓት ገሊፅኩሞ እንዲኹም ሕዚ እንታይ እዩ ተን መሰረታዊ ነገራት ሓደት ምዚኣቶም እሲ ከመይ ጌርና ኢና ንነብር ነርና እንድዩ ንሱ እዩ ናይ መጀመርያ አይዲዮሎጂ ዝነበረ ደርጊ ክድምሰስ ከሎ ምናልባት ቅድሚ ሕዚ ኮንፌደሬሽን ድዩ ፌደሬሽን ድዩ ዋላ ክሳብ መወዳእታ ዓንቀፅ 39 ዝኣትወቱ እውን ከምኡ ጌርና ክንስማዕማዕ ዘይንኽእል እንድሕር ኮይና እውን ክሳብ ምግንፃል ትኽእሉ ኢኹም ዝብል ኦፕን ኢንድድ ኦፖርቹኒቲ ተዋሂብዎም እዮም ኢትዮጵያ ከም ኢትዮጵያ መጠን ሓንቲ ክትግበር ገይሮም ነይሮም ኣያታትና ካብ መጀመርያ ንማየጣላ ዝነበርና ናይ ኤርትራውያን ከም ሃገር ክውሰን ከሎ ሃገር እዩ ኖን ኤርትራስ ንሕና እውን እንድሕር ዘይተስማዕምዐና ኮይኑ ምስ ኢትዮጵያ ናይ ምንፃል መሰልና ክህልወና ኣለዎ ዝብል ኣብ በረኻ ዓበይቲ ፖለቲካዊ ሚይጣት ይግበር ነይሩ እዞም ፖለቲካዊ ሚይጣት ንምንታይ እዩ ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ንህዝቢ ኦሮሞ ንገለ መለልካ ዘይኮነስ ህዝቢ ከም ህዝቢ መጠን እንድሕር ደኣ ተስማዕሚዑ ዝነብር ኮይኑ ተስማዕሚዑ ክነብር ኖ ዘይስማዕምዐሉ እንድሕር ኮይኑ እቲ ህዝቢ ባዕሉ ናይ ባዕሉ ቋንቋ ክዛረብ ናይ ባዕሉ ባህሊ ክህልዎ ናይ ባዕሉ ቴሪቶሪ ክህልዎ እዚ ዘይገብር መንግስቲ እንድሕር መፅኡ ኣብ ፌደራል ግን ክሳብ ምንፃል እምበር ክሳብ በትሪ ምውቃዕ ብኣውሮፕላን ምድብዳብ ዝብል ሕጊ ኣይተቐመጠን ነይሩ ሕዚ ሰብኣይ እዚ እንታይ እዩ ዝገብር ዘሎ ክቡር ሓውና ጀነራል ፃድቃን እውን መጀመርያ ትባእስ ክጅመር ከሎ ከም ሚድየተር ኮይኑ የዛርቦ ነይሩ እዩ ንኣብይ እንታይ እዩ ዝበለ ጀነራል ፃድቃን ህዝቢ ትግራይ ይኹን ካሊእ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ሲ ብመሰሉን ድሕሪት ኣይብልን ናብ ካሊእ ነገር ጎንፂ ተዘይትኸይድ ይሓይሽ ኢሉ ክዛረቦ ከሎ ብገንዘብን ብጥይትን ዘይንብርከኽ ህዝቢ የለን ኢልዎ ኣብይ ባዕሉ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ግን ከምኡ ኣይኮነን ብገንዘብ ክተንበርክኾ ይትኽእል ብጥይት ክተንበርክኾ ይትኽእልን ዝብል መልሲ ሂብዎ ብድሕሪኡ ከዛርቦ ይከኣለ እዛ ኣተሓሳስባ እዚኣ ናብ ክልላዊ መንግስቲ ትግራይ ምስ ወሰዳ ጀነራል ፃድቃን ሰብ እዚ ዝገብሮ ዝነበረ ዕላማታት ንህዝቢ ትግራይ መሰል ንምድፋዕ ፕላንድ ገይሩ ይንቀሳቀስ ከም ዝነበረን ምስ ኢሳያስ እውን ከምኡ ይገብር ከም ዝነበረን ኣብ ሙሉእ መረዳእታታት በፂሖም ነይሮም ማለት እዩ እንታይ እዩ እቲ ሽግር ከምኡ ዓይነት መረዳእታት በፂሕካ እንዳሃለካ ውግእ እንዳተገበረ እንዳሃለወ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ጠቕላላ ኣሰልጢንካ ንኸይትመፅእ ምገ ዝገብር ነገራት ነይሩ ሓደ ብዙሓት ሰባት ተጋሩ ኣብ ኩሉ ኢትዮጵያ ኣለዉ ምንታይ ስም ከይኾኑ ይፍራሕ ነይሩ ካልኦት ሽግር ዝረኣኹሞ ማለት እዩ ሕዚ ግን እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ምዚኣቶም ከመይ ጌርና ኢና ንነብር ምዚኣቶም ከመይ ጌርካ ይነብር ሕዚ እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ውስናት እዮም ሕዚ ህዝቢ ከም ህዝቢ መጠን ክንፍርጅ የብልናን ምክንያቱም እንታይ እየ ዝርኢ ዘለኹ ኣነ እታ ገዱ ቃል ብቃል ዝተዛረባ ገዱ ንባዕሉ መጀመሪያ ካብ ትግራይ ክንሰዓር ከለና ሕወሓት ኣይኮነን ስዒሩና እዮም ኢሎም ህዝቢ በዓሉ ይስዒሩና እዮም ኢሎም ኣምሓራ ክመፁ ከለዉ ድማ እንደገና እንታይ ምባል ይጅምሩ ኣለዉ ህዝቢ ይወቕዐና ኣሎ ይብሉ ኣለዉ እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ዲታችድ እንዳኾኑ ካብቲ ህዝቢ እንዳተመመዩ እቶም ኣብ ስልጣን ዘለዉ ጥራሕም ዝተርፉ ዘለዉ ንሱ ጥራሕ ዘይኮነ ሕዚ ምስቲ ህዝቢ ብጣዕሚ ፓራኖይድ እዮም ማንም ሰብ ብጣዕሚ ካብ ዝገርመካ ሕዚ ብጣዕሚ ዓበይቲ ሰበስልጣናት ኣብ ኣዲስ ኣበባ ናይ ብልፅግና ኣብ መከላከያ ዝሰርሑ ኣብ ትሕቲ ቁፅር ዝኣተዉ ብዙሓት ኣለዉ ገሊኦም ውግእ ኣባላሽዮም ይበሃሉ ገሊኦም ግዛዕ ኣባላሽዮም ይበሃሉ ገሊኦም ሕዚ ኣብቲ ውሽጡ ምርዳእን ምስማዕን የለን ምክንያቱም ሓደ ክገብሮም ዝኽእል ነገር ናይ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ፅልኢት እዩ ነይሩ ሕዚ ግን እቲ ፅልኢት ኣብ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ጥራሕ ዘይኮነ ኣብ ህዝቢ ኦሮሞ እውን ከም ዝኾነ ኣብ ህዝቢ ቅማንት እውን ከም ዝኾነ ኣብ ህዝቢ ኣገው እውን ኣብ ሶማልያ ዓፋር ኣብ ኩሉ ክኸውን ከሎ እዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም እታ ዘለቶ መማረፂት እያ ብምሉእ ዘለዎም ጥይት ኣራጊፎም ህዝቢ ምቕታል እዩ ህዝቢኦም ዝቐትሉ ዘለዉ ሃይለ ስላሴ እንታይ ገይሩና ንዓና መጀመርያ ከይዱ ናብ እንግሊዝ ክኸድ ከሎ ኣብ የመን ኮይኑ እዩ ንህዝቢ ትግራይ ናይ ቀዳማይ ወያነ ደብዲብዎ መቐለ መጀመርያ ግዜ ቀዳማይ ወያነ ዝተደብደበት ብሃይለ ስላሴ እዩ እንደውም ብናይ እንግሊዝ ኣውሮፕላን ድሓር ደርቢ
ሕቶ ግን ናይ ቦርደር እያ ነይራ የመና ትወፅእ ኣለኻ
ኣይ ኣብ መስመር እየ ዘለኹ
ናይ ኤርትራ ሕቶ እኮ ኤርትራ ብዙሕ ሰራዊት ናብ ቦርደር የምፅእ ኣሎ እየ ሓይተን ፍረዝጊ ፍሪዝ ሃያትና እምበር ድንፂ
ድሓር ድቶክ ንምቁርራፅ ደስ ኢልካ እዩ እምበር ኣብ መስመር ኤኒወይ ኤርትራ ናብኡ ከኣት እንደ ኤርትራ ንምንታይ ከም ዝገብር ዘሎ ኤርትራ ተኸፊልዎ እንዲ መጀመርያ ተኸፊልዎ ካልኣይ ድማ ናይ ባዕሉ ፅላኣት እውን ስለ ዝነበሮ እንዲ ከም ዝገብር ዘሎ መዓት ገንዘብ ይኸፊልዎ ኣብይ ንኤርትራ ኤርትራ ድማ ሕዚ ኣይኮነን ናይ ኤርትራ ባይዘወይ ናይ ኤርትራ ወታደርን ናይ ኤርትራ ህዝብን ንኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ ከም ህዝቢ ኣይኮነን ሰራሕተኛታት እዮም ብዛዕባ ናይ ኤርትራ ክንዛረብ እንድሕር ኮይና መጀመርያ እቶም ዝነበሩ ካቢነ መጀመርያ ይበሃል ኣሎ መለሲ ኣይገብረሎ ኢሉ ካቢነ ቋቂሙ ነይሩ እዩ ኤርትራ ልዕሊ 72 ካቢነ ነይሮም ካብቶም 72 እቶም ክልተ ጥራሕ እዮም ተሪፎም ማንኪን ኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ እቶም ሰብኣ ኣበይ ኣትዮም ኣይፍለጡ ፓርላማ ዝበሃል ጠቕላላ ገሊኦም ተኣሲሮም ገሊኦም ተጫውዮም ገሊኦም ተቆቲሎም እዚ ዝበሃል መጀመርያ ዘቋቆሙ ፓርላማ ኣብ ኤርትራ እዚ ዝበሃል ታይስሙ የለን ድሓር ኤክስተርናላይዝ ናይ ምግባር ታይስሙ እዩ ዘለዎም ኩሉ ግዜ ቦርደር ድማ ምስ የመን ዘይተዋቅዐ ምስ ታይስሙ ዘይተዋቅዐ ምስ ዘይተዋቅዑ ነገር የብሉን ሕዚ ናይ መወዳእታ ታይስሙ እንታይ እዩ ደይነው እቶም ናይ ወታደራዊ መራሕቲ ናህና እኮ ይዛረቡ ነይሮም እዮም ንሕና ድሕራ ኢሳያስ ኢዱ ዘይእርንብ ኮይኑ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ባዕሉ እንድሕር ዳ ክግልውጦ ዘይኽእል ኮይኑ እንዳቐጥቀጠና ኣይነብርን ገፅና ክንምልስ ኢና ኢሎም እዮም this is just clearly warning to highway ከምኡ ዝደግም እንድሕር ኮይኑ ሕዚ ፍርሓት እኒኦ ውሽጡ ፍርሓት ኣለዎ ቦርደር ከብል እዩ ድፋዕ ክሰርሕ እዩ ተኺኢሉ እውን ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዘሎ ኣብ ትግራይ ዘሎ ኢንፍራስትራክቸር ይኹን ህዝቢ ይኹን ምቁዕ ኣይገድፍን ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ነዚ እንታይ መፍትሒ ክኸውን ዝኽእል ሕዚ ብዛዕባ ኤርትራ ናይ ዓለም መንግስታት እውን ዋላ ይርአይዎ ኣይርአይዎ ሕዚ ንኤርትራ ትቃለሰሉ ነገር ኣይኮነን ኤርትራ ሙሉእ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ይኹን ህዝቢ ኢትዮጵያ ከጥፍኦም እዩ ንምንታይ መሲልካ ዝተዋሃቦም መሰል ብትግራይ ብህዝቢ ትግራይ ጥራሕ መሰል ንስርሑ ሂቦምዎ ሃገራዊ ነፃነት ንሕና ንመሰልና ተዘይንቃለስ ነርና ዝውግእ እዚ ቀጥታ መስመራ ንኤርትራ ንባፅዕ ይኽኣቱ ነይሩ ኤርትራ ናይ ምንባር መሰል ከም ዘይብሎም ይፈልጡ እዮም ህዝቢ ትግራይ እንድሕር ዘይሃልዩ ስለዚ ንሕና እቲ ዋና ክግድሰና ዝግብኦ ኣብ 4 ኪሎ ዘሎ መንግስቲ ምልቃቕ እዩ ኣብ 4 ኪሎ ዘሎ መንግስቲ እንድሕር ልቂካዮ እንታይ ክህልወካ እዩ ዳይሬክትሊ መንግስቲ እንድሕር ተቆፃፂርካ ብድሕሪኡ ብምሉእ ዘሎ ኣብ ክልላት ዘሎ ይኹን ኣብ ካልኦት ዘሎ ይኹን ኤርትራ ይኹን ንምኻድ እቲ መንግስቲ 4 ኪሎ ዘሎ እውን ብረት ከየምፅእ ከይልቃሕ ገንዘብ ከየምፅእ ተዓግቶ ኣለካ ማለት እዩ ስለዚህ ናይ መጀመርያ ስትራቴጂና 4 ኪሎ ይኸውን ዘሎ መጀመርያ እውን ክንዘራረበሉ ዝፀናሕና ማለት እዩ ንሱ ድሕሪ ምቁፃርካ ብዛዕባ ናይ ኤርትራ ዲኻ ትብል ካልኦት ናይ ሃገር ወደባት ዘሎ ምስ ካልኦት ጉራብቲ ዘሎ ዓድታት ሶልቭ ንምግባር ኢዚ ይኸውን ሕዚ ግን ምንም ዓይነት ኢንተራፕሽን ተገይሩ እውን ህዝቢ ትግራይ ተዳልዩ እዩ ከምቲ መጀመርያ መፅዩ ዝደፍአና ዝቀተለና ክቀትለና ይኽእል ሕዚ
ኤፍሬም ኣብዚ ኣነ ለይሰማ ማዕነ ጥበልና ምሳኻ ናይ ኤርትራውያን ሂወት ኮነ ብናይ ተጋሩ ኣይውሰንን ኣነ ኣብዚ ኣይሰማምዕን ከም ነጥብ ማለት እዩ ናይ ኤርትራውያን ሽግር ብኤርትራውያን እዩ ዝፍታሕ ኢለ ይኣምን እየ ግን እዚ ክብለካ ተለኹ ድማ ኤርትራውያን ኣብ ትግራይ ውሽጢ ኣትዮም ብዙ ጀኖሳይድ ኢዶም ብደም ዝጨቀየ ኣብ ዘለዎ ቦታ ኣቲና ላብ ህግ ክነቅርቦም ግን ክንቃለስ ኢና ሓደ ልፍትሒ ግን ኤርትራውያን ወይ ኣናዝር ከም ሃገር እዮም ከዚ እዚ ዘጠያይቕ ነገር ኣይኮነን ግን ብቲ ዝሰርሕዎ ዘለዉ ግፍዒ ኣብ ትግራይ ግን ክንቃለሶም ኢና ንሕና ናታቶም ኦፍሾር እንታይ እስሙ ኣይንኸውንን ልትሉ ገብርዎ ዘለዉ ወደፊት ቃልሲ ኢሳያስ ልምልዓል ኮነ ንምስቃል ናባዕላቶም ጉዳይ እዩ ናትና ጉዳይ ግን ኣብ ሃገርና ውሽጢ ዝፍፅምዎ ዘለዉ ግፍዕታት ክንቃለሶም ክሳዕ መጨረሻ እውን ለኽደና ኩነታት ተሃልዩ ክንኸይድ ኢና እዚኣ ግልፂ ክኸውን ኣለዋ ክብል ደልየ እየ
ያ ፍረዝጊ ናብዚኣ ምክንዓውሰካ ወግዒ ኣበይንቶም ሒዞም ኣለዉ እዞም ኣሕዋትና እታ ጥያቄ እንታይ እያ ነይራ ኣብቲ ቦርደር መዓት ሰራዊት እዩ ሻዕብያ ደምስ ዘሎ እቲ ናይ ትግራይ ኣብ መቐለ ዕድል ዘይረኸበ እዩ ዘይሰረቀ እምበር ዘይሰረቆ ንብረት ኣብ ትግራይ የለን
በቃ ስኻ ክትናገር ከለኻ እዩ ስኻ ትናገር ከለኻ እዩ በቃ ፍረዝጊ ዘብል ዘሎ
I think it's a network issue.
What?
ደለኽዎ ገዛውቲ መስለኒ anyway go ahead Mike ጥያቄ ካወድ እሞ እዚኣ መሊሰ ኣነ ክፍለየኩም
ኣይ በቃ ቀላል እያ ትሓቶ ናይ ቦርደር ዛዕባ ናይ ኤርትራ እዩ
the day after tomorrow well you know Eritrea already ሕጊ ጥሒሱ ቦርደር ጥሒሱ ናብ ትግራይ መሬት ካብ ደኣቱ 11 ወርሒ ሓሊፍዎ እዩ ጥራሕ ምእታዊ ኮነንስ ኣብ ዓለም ተራእዩ ደይፍለጥ ግፍዕታት ፈፂሙ እዩ ናይ ኤርትራ ሰራዊትን ናይ ኤርትራ መንግስትን ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እዚ ገበነኛ ዝኾነ መንግስቲ ኤርትራን ሰራዊት ኤርትራን ከምቲ ጠቕስዎ ድፃሕልኩም ብገበን ተሓቲቱ ናብ ፍርድ እስካዕ ድበፅሕ ንሕና ከም ተጋሩ ቃልስና ጠጠው ይብለን ማለት እዩ ብኩለ መዳይ ብዲፕሎማሲ ይኹን ብሕጋዊ ይኹን ብሓይላዊ ይኹን ብኩለ መዳው እስካዕ ዞም ገበነኛታት እዚኣቶም ኢንክሉዲንግ ኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ ናብ ICC እስካዕ ድኸዱ ቃልስና ጠጠው ይብለን ማለት እዩ እዚ ርዱእ ክኾን ኣለዎ ማለት እዩ ንማንኛውም ትግራዋይ ስለዚ ሕዚ ኢሳያስ ኣፈወርቂ እንተ ካብ ሕሞራስ እንተ ካብ ማእኸል ኢትዮጵያስ እናወፀ ድፋዕ ዶ ይስራሕ ኣብ ትግራይን ኤርትራን ቦርደርን ጽቡቅ እዩ it's expected ግን ካብ ምንም ጠጠው የብሎን ማለት እዩ ምክንያቱም ሕዚ ትግራዋይ ኣብቲ ናይ መጨረሻ ቻፕተር በፂሑ እዩ ትግራይ ሙሉእ ንሙሉእ ሓራ ኣውፅዩስ ንትግራይ ፍረት ዝኾኑ ሓይልታት ኣብ ሙሉእ ኢትዮጵያ ይኹን ኣብ ሙሉእ ኤርትራ ዘለዉ ሓይልታት ከጥፍእ እዩ ነዞም ሓይልታት እዚኦም ከየጥፍአ ምክንያቱም ህዝቢ ትግራይ ብሰላም ክነብረ ይኽእልን ምክንያቱም ንሕና ታንደልያ ትግራይ ታክናሃንፃ ንደሊ ትግራይ ብኢኮኖሚ ብጀስትስ ብፍትሒ ብመንግስቲ ብፖለቲካ ብኢኮኖሚ ብኩሉ ነገር ራዓት ባዕርሳ ዝኸኣለት ሃገር ንኽትከውን ወይም እንደገና ክልል ንኽትከውን እዞም ኩሎም ፀላእቲ እዚኦም ክሰኽኑ ኣለዎ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ እዚ ኣብ ድፋዕ ሲግበር ናብ ቦርደር ሲግበር ንዓና ደበለ ይኮነን the only thing ንዓና ድሕግዘናታ እዩ will be you know more كنسرحن كنقالسن كنحرنن كنبلن يدغبرنا امبر ምንም ማለት አይቆንም በዘጋጣም እዚህ ግን መልእክት ቀጥሐላል ፊፎቱ because I don't know if you guys are still سمعون እንደحرሃለኹም መልእክት ቀጥሐላል ፊፎቱ አብድና ውግ ይዳሉ ስለዚህ እንድሕር እዚ ደይ ተረዳአና ተጋሩ ለና ኮይና ጻገም እዩ ማለት እዩ ስለዚህ ዝውግ እዚ እስካ ብዕሊ መንግስትና ሰራዊትና ተወዲኡ እስካ ድብለና ተደብዳብ ሲሆን እንተ ሞት ሲሆን እንተ ግዛዕ ይሆንስ ናይቱ ጦርነት አካል ስለዚህ ንሕና ከም ተጋሩ لما عم تبقى على 3-4 ساعات دبدب على 3-4 معلتي it might happen more ስለዚህ نحن انتاينا خنقبر لنا اوقينا دلنا كم تغارو more كنحرو لنا كم تغارو دايسبورا more كنطقلنا we have to fight back and we have to do more دقبأنا صراح كنسرح لنا بادفوكاسي نصف ادفوكاسي نكبر بدبلوماسي نصف سبات بدبلوماسي نكبر بميديا نصف سبات بميديا نكبر more angry خوينا حرينا
لمصا بلا تعازيا
سلسته شع بقى تدبدبت راوع غزي عدوا تدبدبت اقسم او طورنتينا دلنا غنا فقاطمنا يخم زعما ስለዚህ ህዝብና ተስፋ ቆርጽ ህዝብ ይብልና ንሕና አውቂና ደለና ሕዝም ትግራዋይ ሙሉ ዓለም ደለኻ بحلف تسعتيو ስለዚህ ዞም ጻላት አዚኦም እስካዕ መጨረሻ እስካዕ ደየሶኮና ድረስ ጠጣው ይነብልን ወላ ሓደ ሰብ ተተረፈና ይደብዱ ወይ ደምስሱ ከተማታት ንነጻነትና እዩ ስለዚህ እዚ ክንጽበይ ይግባና እዚ ክረዳ ይግባና ከም ተጋሩ ማለት እዩ ሞር ክንሕር እቲ ኢንተርናሽናል ኮሚኒቲ አክሽን ይወስድ to resolution at ከሐልፍ ድግቦ this is a genocide ilu world recognize ገይሩ እዞም ገበነኛታት እዚኦም genocide ንኽተት አቡን እንጠፍ ሰራዊት ንቀድሚት ከይዱ ዋጋ ደሎ ይዋጋ ስራሕና ንስራሕ እስቲ ስለዚህ ከፊል ካይ መቀለባ 2 ተደብዲው 3 ተደብዲው so what we lost a lot of people for the past 11 months so ታዩ ስለዚህ ብዙ መልኩ አሁንሪኦ ለና ክንሕርልናልና I really don't want to see ሓደ ትግራዋይ ክበካ አነ ክር አይደለን ብሱሩ ምክንያቱም ንበኸሉ ሰዓት ይኮናን ሕዚ ታነ በኸላ ሰዓት ማ ኖቨምበር 4 ያ ነራ መሬት ጸልሚትና አላሃሎ ሕዝማ ተኾይና ኢልና ሰራዊትና ሞር ኃይል ሃልዩ ወመንግስትና አና ቦትኡ ተመሊሱ ዓድና ነፃና ውፃና ትድበዝሕ መሬትና ሓራ መሬት ኮይኑ ታይደብክለና ሕዚ አውቂና አይደለና ከምዛ አይነት ሓደጋ ክጋጥመና زحرقات هذين كيف تسحقن بروتكت نقبروا له مجدتات كنهزم يقبأنا خم تقارو مينم سرحنا عنا سرحنا مالك منقستي يسرح وتقدر يسرح سراويت يسرح بعلميانا مويا يسرح دايسبورانا يجسبورا سرح سرحو تقارو خمتانا مجمرة حزم تقونا حدنتنا أتنكرنا نابك ألسي بتعمي بدأ عبي كابتنا عمي كابتق أدمي 11 مانزس دنبارة بدبلتها أتينا نايم بتشارش هذا ساعات زيا ندحريت كي تملس زان عصرت حد ورح نفرق عند جبرنا يا قالسي ندحريت كي تملس الجامنا نفتسم ناي تقرأ حلافينات إزي سلزي حلافيناتنا الوضع مخنياتهم ناي تاريخ تتأيأتهم كونينا بأنا مخنيات بناتنا نزهلنات مخنيات ندحرت صباح نجوها ناي تقرأ كيس genocide data بهيلو مخنياتهم if we fail to contact officials if we fail to write letters if we fail to go to protest and rallies, if we fail to tweet, and this doesn't happen, then نحنا تايم علينا تتصطفنا خندبرينا قال حزب تግራይ بأنا مخنيات ندحي تمليسو مالتي ስለዚህ ዳያስፖራ ደለኻ እዚ አኻ ትገብር ደለካ ሕዝምበር ሓደ ሻዕተ ደብደበ እዚ ኮነ እናበልና ንበኸየሉ ሰዓት ይኮነ ስለዚህ ትግራዋይ ተልዓል ሓርን ከምታም ልክ ቀርማ 11 ወርሒ ከም ሓደ ከም ንህብ ኮይን ካብ ሓደ ወፃኻዮ ሕዝም ወፃ انت زبخا دمص زبخاخون دمص سراويتكاخون دمص መንግስትካኹን ወይባል ኦር ስራሕ በሐጽሩ ማለት እዩ እንደገና ኢትዮጵያ ያለها ህዝብ በትግራይ በሕልፊ ተስፋ አይተቆርጽ ምንም ተስፋ ደቆርጽ ጉዳይ ይብልናል እሱ ሐሊፍና አፍትናይ መጨረሻ ብርሃን ክንርኢ ታኢድ በሃል ክወግሕ ትብል ተለሶ መቹ ይጸልምት ይባሃል አና መጨረሻ ሰዓት ትበጽሕ ስለደላ ክጸልምት እዩ ግን guess what is going to be bright day it's going to be a new day حدش معلت خوني حدش تقرأي تكونيا لذي إذا ما اختزي خد حلال في فوتو هم نتورك سرير لنا مالتيو media please show the atrocity show تحمق قصنا تقرأي show تبعدنا دلو مكراتات نقدمي توصو please don't show the bodies of our enemies please don't show إذا ما صار زي حزنا يتولو that is irrelevant كلا عندنا بعلنا نمدح تتنا يناقانقو لذي ميدياتات بتعمد تنقاقين أقوار نقرو نقر نوصو أنا قدمي دي نوصو أنا فلات سلازي كم تقارو كنحنا حزم قالسنا نبرتع نفس رحنا نقطو سلازي زي آيك بالفوتو Anele, thank you for allowing me to join you guys. It's a privilege and it was great humbling. مساقاتكم عاختم لبن سلحواتي participate لأرجوركو زمشات زي بتعمد سناولني. Unfortunately, I am in a bad area and I am causing you a delay because of my mic, my network, and all that. يقرطان حتتكو خصانا وتقمين اشتغل معك يا مايكل Anele.
Thank you, President Howie. I know نقول long drive ስለዘለኩም ፀገም የውልን በአካል እንራኸበና ጽባሕ እንዳጋጣም ኮይኑ ኣርባዕተና ዝያዝነናስ ብሓደና ጽባሕ እንድሕር ጽባሕን ዘለና ስለዚሁ ዓለም ሙሉእ ዘለኹም ሳይበር ፓወር ትግራይ ሚድያ ተካተሉ ዘለኹም ናይ ብሓቂ ብኣክቲቪዝም ብሚድያ ብኩሉ ንምኩሮ ዘለና ስራሕ ኣውዚነን ኣርባዕተ ኣሕዋት ያው ካብዚ ንላዕሊ ትሰምዕዎ ወርቂ ዘረባታት ዝህሉ እዩ ኢለ ኣይግምትን ስለዚሁ ኣብዚያት ነገር ኣነ እታ ናይ ኤርትራ ዝተንከፍክዋ ምክንያት ኣለታ እያ ሒዚ ምን ተኾነ ሒዚ እተፍቲ እቲ ኤርትራ ሕግደፍ እዮም ዘይተረድኦም እዩ ከምዚ እዮም እንተበልና ናይ 7 ሰከንድ እያ እዚኣ ሓንቲ ሰዓት ከስምዐኩም ኤርትራውያን ዝብልዎ ዘለዉ ዝገብርዎ ዘለዉ
መርሕነት ህዝባዊ መርሕነት ኤርትራ ንዓጋሚ ዝቆማን ክሳዱ ረጊፁ ትሕቲ መሬት ስለ ዘፍሎ በዚ ሓወስና ወሰን የብሉን ቆማን ኩሉ ግዜ ንተሕትሕ እዚ ናብ ዓጋሚ ከምዚ ሕጂ እውን ትሕቲ መሬት ይእተው ቃነለ ዓወት ተኽፋሽ ወያነ ዕርበታ ማሊ ኣብ መቃብራ ስለ ደኣተወት ዓወት ንሓፋሽ ተሓጎኒ ኤርትራውያን ናብን ሕቡራት ኢና ዓወት ንሓፋሽ
እዚኦም ኤርትራውያን ኣይኮኑን ዝበሃሉ እዚኦም ህግደፍ እኳ እዮም
ሓበሰይ ወሰን የብሉን የውሃን ኢትዮጵያ ኤርትራ ዘመና ተሳናሉ አጥቁም በጣም አሁን ተቀብስና ለና እዚህ ከቤትና አውሽና ሰቀና ተነበረ ስርዓት የውሃና ሙሉ ኤርትራ የውሃና ሙሉ ሀገር ኤርትራ ፕሬዝዳንት ሀገር ኤርትራ ሲያዛቆርዲ እንኳ አሐቆሰኩም ቀንድ ንስኹም ስለዝመቀልኩም ቀንድ ንስኹም ስለ ተጸመንኩም አደረጃዚ እንኳ አሪኩም አምላክ ናባዓት ተሐቆስና የውሃና
እንታይ ድዩ መሲልኳ ፍሬም ኣነ እዚ ቪድዮ እዚ ክሪኦ ዝደለኹ ከምዚ ኢሎም ኤርትራውያን ኩሎም ይድግፍዎ ማለት ኣይኮነን ግን ኣነ ብዙሕ ከተማታት ዜርና ርኢናዮ ኢና ትሒዞሞ እኒኦ ባንዴራ እንድሕር ሕግደፍ ኮይኖም እንድሕር ናይ ሕግደፍ መገዲ ዝከታተልቲ ኮይኖም እቲ ፐርሰነጅ እዚኦም እሲ እንታይ ዝኣኽሉ እዮም ሕግደፍ ኮይኖም እንታይ ዝኣኽሉ እዮም ከ ፅሩያት ኤርትራውያን ኮይኖም ነቲ ግፍዒ ትክክል ኣይኮነን ዝብሉ ኣበይ ኣለዉ ብቁፅሮም ኢናተይ እቶም ውሕዳት ዘለዉ ምሳና ዝሰርሑ ምሳና ዝወፁ እቲ ታንኪን ምባል የቀኒየላ ንምባል እሲ ክንርስዖ የብልና ኢና ግን እዚ ዓይነት ዘረባ ክትዛረብ ከለካ ዘይረውሑ እዚኦም ስነ ስርዓት ዘይብሎም እንታይ ሞ ድሓን ነቲ ሚድያ ሬስፔክት ንምዃን በቲ ተዛረብዎ ዘረባ ክዛረብ ኣይደልኒ ግን the lowest denominator mind ዝሓዙ ሰባት እዚኣቶም ንሳቶም ከም ምሁራን ንሳቶም ከም ሃፍታማት ንሳቶም ከም ፅሩያት ቁማል ዝኾነ ትግራዋይ ኢሎም ከም ተዛሪቦም ናይ ባዕሎም ርእሲ እንተየፅረዩ ናይ ባዕሎም ገጽ እንተይሓፀው ናይ ባዕሎም እንተይሓፀው
Let me say this before I leave. Let me say this. ይቅርታ ቅድመ መኻደይ እዚኣ ክትንክፈልካ ማይክል ከምቱ ኤፍሬም ደወሎ እዚኣቶም ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ኣይውክሉን ኣብ ኩሉ ቦታ ደንቆሮ ኣሎ ዶ ወሎ ኣብ ኩሉ ቦታ ሕማቕ ሰብ ኣሎ ዶ ወሎ ስለዚ ዞም ከምዚኦም ዓይነት ሰባት ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ኣይውክሉን ብኣይ በኩል ኣነ ስትሮንግሊ ደኣምነሉ እየ ህዝቢ ትግራይን ህዝቢ ኤርትራን ሓደ ህዝቢ እዩ ኣብ ክልተ ዓዲ ዝነበር ሓደ ህዝቢ እዩ ስለዚ ደስተነና ብሓደ እዩ ከምዚ ዓይነት ድንቁርናታት ኤግዚስት ይገብሩ ዶ ነይሮም እዋ it's complex it's inferiority complex remember Michael ንሕና ንሓለፈ 30 ዓመት ትግራይ ነፃነታ ደሓለወ ጀነሬሽን ተማሃረ ጀነሬሽን ኮንፊደንስ ዘለዎ ብትግራይነቱ ሲቲዘንስ እያ ፕሮዲስ ገይራ ኤርትራ እንታይ እያ ገይራ ብትደሎ ስርዓት ምክንያት ድጠፍአ ጀነሬሽን እያ ፕሮዲስ ገይራ ኣብ ሳዋ ዕድምልኡ ከዝሓልፍ ስለዚ ክንሓዝሎም ይግባአና honestly speaking ምንም ደይፈልጡ ትምህርቲ ደይብሎም ዩኒቨርሲቲ ኣቶም ተዓጾ ስለዚ ድሪም ደይብሎም እዮም እና እዚኣቶም they don't represent Eritrean people ምሳና ኮይኖም ደቃለሱ ኤርትራውያን ኣለዉ እዮም ኣብ ኤርትራ ኮይኖም ከዓ ኣፎም ተሎጊሙ ተዓጪው ብላክሜል ድናኾኑ ኣብ ወፃኦም ኮይኖም ክወፁ ሰልፊ ክዛረቡ ደይክእሉ ኣለዉ ወለዶም ንብረቶም ግዛዕ ዓድታት ሒዙ ድውረሶም ድእሰሮም ክንደይ ነገር ኣሎ ስለዚ ኤርትራ ማለት it is North Korea ስለዚ ብኡ ንረድእ እዮም ሞኢ ከም ደይውክሉ ፈሊጥና ንሕና ናብ ኣቶም ለቨለይ ንኸድ ንሕና very civilized ዝኾና ህዝቢ አንደኛ ነገር ክትርስዑ ወደ ይግብአኩም ተጋሩ ብዘጋጣም እዚ ክዛረብ ግብኦ ነገር ሓንቲ ነገር ኣሎ ትግራዎት ብምንታይ ምክንያት ካብ ኩሎም ንፈላ ኢልና ዝሕቶ እዚኣ ንሕተት ምክንያቱም መወቀልና ካብ ስረ መሰረትና ብናጽነት ደዓተና ህዝቢ ኢና ንሕና ሓራ ይኹን ኦሮሞ ይኹን ኤርትራዊ ይኹን ግዛዕ ይኹን slave ድነበረ እዩ we never been slaved we never been colonized by ኣምሓራ ይኹን by ኦሮሞ ይኹን by ኤርትራ ይኹን by ዓረብ ይኹን by ጣልያን ይኹን by ግዛዕ ይኹን that makes us different from the rest of these people we don't have that complex issue ስለዚ we need the most important part of the sorry now እንግሊዝኛ አቴ ተጋሩ ማንነትና ማንፍለጥ then we don't have to go to their level so I don't think like them come atom حسبه يخلنا أنا because my mind is free if I go generation back I was always a free man my grandparents were that who won the war and defeated the white man not the other people ስለዚህ ذكر ደና ይግባአና ሙኸም ተጋሩ ለዚና አቶም ለቨለይ ንኽድ ኣብቲኦም ይኹኑ በሰሜን ደለው ይኹኑ በምዕራብ ይኹኑ በምስራቅ ኩሎም ላይ ባዕሎም ኮምፕሌክስ ደለዎም እዮም ኩሎም ዳይሬክትሊ ኦር ኢንዳይሬክትሊ ተገዛእቲ ድነበሩ ህዝቢ እዮም ንሕና ከም መጀመርያ እስካዕዘሎም ማዓንቲ ተጋዚእና ደይ ንፈልጥ ንጥመስ ንድከስ ንዕረቅስ በነጻነትና ንነብር ህዝቢ ኢና ስለዚህ ጌርና ንሰዶ thank you so much for allowing me to speak this much then I'll join you guys tomorrow
thank you brother appreciate you Ephraim to you right or what
በቃሞ ከምቲ ፍረዝ ግዝበለይ ለምሳሌ እዚኣቶም ብስሩ ድምፂ ክትኮኖም ኣይግበአካን ነይሩ ድምፂ ናብ ከምዚ ዓይነት ክቡር ሚድያ እውን ክመፁ ኣይግብኦምን እዚ ሚድያ እዚ ንውፃዓት ህዝቢና ድምፂ ንህብ ዘለና ናይ ድምፂ ክኾነ ዝግብኦ እዩ ድምፂ ዝኸውን እምበር ኣክሰስ ከምዚ ዓይነት ኣክሰስ ክረኽቡ ኣይግብኦምን ነይሩ ዝብሎ ሰባት እውን ናብዚ ብምምፃእ ሰብ ክሪኦም ሰብ ከብሎም ምክንያቱም ማንም ሰብ ይሪኦም ኣብ ናይ ኤርትራ ሚድያታት ቀሪቦም ኣይፈልጡ ዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ይፍለጡ እዮም አንደኛ ሰለልቲ እዮም ካልኣይ ህግደፍ እዮም ንህዝቦም እውን ክብሪ ዘይብሎም እዮም ንህዝቦም ኣብ ሕማቕ ዘእትዉ ህዝቦም ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ኣብ ምንታይ ኩነታት ከም ዘሎ ትፈልጥ ኢኻ ናይቲ ውልቀ ኣብ ስልጣን ዘሎ ሓሻኽር እዮም ዞም ሰባት እዚኣቶም ናይ ኤርትራ ህዝብን ኤርትራውን መሰል ዘረጋግፁ ሰባት ኣይኮኑን ስለዚ ናብዚ ክመፁ ሚድያ ምርኻስ እዩ ክመፁ ዝግብኦም ሰባት ኣይኮኑን ኣብ ሚድያና እውን ክረአዩ ዝግባእ ሰባት ኣይኮኑን ከምኡ ዓይነት ሪስፔክት እውን ዘድልዮም ሰባት ኣይኮኑን ምክንያቱም ህዝቦም ሪስፔክት ዘይገብሩ ምንም ዓይነት ሪስፔክት ክህብሉ የብሎምን ተቃላሊ ግን እንታይ ይገብር ኣሎ ምንም ካሊእ ስራሕ የብሉን ንሻዕብያ ዘሎ መንእሰይ ፋብሪካ የብሉን ትምህርቲ የብሉን ስለዚ ሓደ ግዜ ንየመን እንዳወሰደ ድፋዕ ከስርሖም
ሓደ ግዜ በየመን እንዳወሰደ ይኸዋግኦም ሓደ ግዜ ንትግራይ እንዳመፀ ይኸዋግኦም ሓደ ግዜ ንጅቡቲ ዋላ ኣብ ትግራይ ሰላም ነርና ምስኡት ንገብርሲ ኣይዓርፍን ምንም እቲ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ካሊእ ክሰርሕ ዝኽእል ነገር ፕላን የብሉን ናይ ልምዓት ፕላን የብሉን እቲ መንግስቲ ንሱ ስለዚ እታ ዝነበረት ዩኒቨርሲቲ እውን ዓፂዋ እዩ እታ ዝነበረት ሃይስኩል እውን ዓፂዋ እዩ እቶም ዝተወለዱ መንእስያት ክሳብ ዝመውት እንዳሓረደ እንዳወሰደ እንዳኣሰረ እቶም ዝርብሹ እንዳኣሰረ እቶም ኣሜን ኢሎም ዝግዝኡሉ ድማ እንዳገዝአ ድፋዕ እንዳኩዐተ እተን ደቂ ኣንስትዮ እውን ብቆልዕተን ሬፕ እንዳገበሩ እዮም ባዕሎም እቶም ኤርትራውያን ዝተዛረቡና እዮም እዚ ኣነ ዝፈጠርክዎ ኣይኮነ ስለዚ ናይ ኤርትራ ህዝቢ ከም መሰሉ ብጣዕሚ ኣብ ዘሕዝን ኩነታት ዝርገፅ ዘሎ ህዝቢ እዩ ስለዚ ኣብ ትግራይ መፅኡ ድፋዕ ይኩዕቶ ኣሎ እንድሕር ኢልካ ካሊእ ዳሞ እንተክገብር ኣብ ፋብሪካ ዲ ክሰርሕስ ልምዓት ዲ ክገብርስ ከም መቐለ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ኣትዮም ዝመራመሩ መንእሰያት ተጋሩ ክመራመር ድዩስ ከም መስፍን ኢንጂነሪንግ ድዩ ዘለዎስ ናይ ጨርቂ ቴክስታይል ድዩ ዘለዎስ ካሊእ ስራሕ ድዩ ዝገብርስ እንታይ ኣብ ትግራይ ክንደይ መንእሰይ ቢዚ ነይሩ ክንደይ ስራሕ ይሰርሕ ነይሩ ኣብ ኤርትራ ዘሎ መንእሰይ ከምኡ ዓይነት ኦፖርቹኒቲ ኣይክፈተሉን ስለዚ ኣብ ትግራይ መፅኡ ድፋዕ ይኩዕቶ ኣሎ ይትኩሶ ኣሎ እንድሕር ኢልካ ናይ ኤርትራ መንግስቲ that's the only opening ክፍቲ ናይ ስራሕ ቦታ ዘለቶ ንስያ ምጥንቃስ ምትኳስ ሬፕ ምግባር ምዝራፍ እዚ ምንም ዓይነት ሓላፍነት ምንም ዓይነት ሪስፖንሲቢሊቲ ምንም ዓይነት ኣካውንታቢሊቲ ዘይወስድ መንግስቲ ሽፍታ ማፍያ መንግስቲ እንዳኻ ሞዳ ክትገብሮ ከስገአና ይብሉን ንሱ ንዓና ንሱ ስርሑ ይበቅ ስርሑ ዝገብር ዘሎ እቲ መንእሰይ ዓመፅ ከይዕምፅ ቢዚ ዝገብሮ ዘሎ ኤርትራዊ ንምንታይ ቢዚ ዝገብሮ ዘሎ ተመሊሱ ንዑ ንኸይወጥቅዖ ተመሊሱ ንዑ ንኸይቀትሎ እዩ ቢዚ ዝገብሮ ዘሎ ትግራይ ባ ከምዚኣ ገይራ ክትፀልአኩም እያ ክትውዕኩም እያ ክትገውጠኩም እያ ብዙ ድፋዕ ኩዓቱ ብዙ ተዋግኡ እንዳበለ ይወስዶ ብትግራይ ድሓን ድሕር ኮይኑ ድማ የመን ባ ከምዚ ገይራ ባሕርና ክትወስዶ መፅያ ጅቡቲ ባ ከምዚ ገይራ ወሰደቶ እንዳበለ ኣብኡታት ቢዚ ዝገብሮ ካሊእ ምንም ዓይነት ዕላማ ስለ ዘይብሉ እዩ ስለዚ እዚ ክንርድኦን ክንሓስበሉን ክንክእል ኣለና ዝነበረና ፃንሒት ብጣዕሚ ደስ ዝብል
ቴንክ ዩ ኤፍሬም ያው ብዙሕ ኢና ለማዓንቲ ፅረቢልና እናበልና ኩሉ ግዜ ኣንዊሕና ያለና ናት ፕሮግራምና ክንዓፃፅው ያው ዝኾነ ሓሳብ ክፅረቢልካ ናይ ዛዕባ እታ ቪድዮ ዘርእኽዋ ኣቶ በረከት ሓሳብ ንድሕር ተቕርበላ ደሊኻ ንኣኻ ምዕድል ክበካ ቅድሚ ምዕፃውና ፕሮግራምና
ቁርብ ኣብቱ ረምሓወይ ዝበሎ ክውስኸሉ ዝደሊ ነገር ተሃልዩ ብርግፅ ኣብ ሓደ ሕብረተሰብ ያው ሕማቕ ኣተሓሳስባ ዘለዎ ኣባና እውን ኣብ ካሊእ እውን ይረአ እዩ ማለት እየ እዚ ኢልና ግን ብፍላይ ንሕና ክንሪኦ ዝግበአና ኣብ ኤርትራን ኣብ ትግራይን ወይ ብዓብዪ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ዘሎ ኩነታት ናይ ዲሞክራሲ ሕቶ እዩ መሰረቱ አንተ ክገልጾ ፈቲነ ነይራ ኢፒአርዲኤፍ መጀመርያ ስልጣን ምስ ሓዙ ምርጫ እዮም ኣካይዶም ኣብ ኤርትራ ግን ምርጫ ዝበሃል 30 ዓመት የለን እዚ እንታይ እዩ ነቲ ናይ ዲክታተራዊ ስርዓት ኢሳያስ ምርጫ ዝበሃል ነቲ ናይ በትረ ስልጣን መንግስቱ ብጣዕሚ ዘፍርሖ ዘይፈትዎ ነገር እዩ እዚ እውን ኣብ ትግራይ ኣብ ኢትዮጵያ ፉሊ ኤክሰርሳይዝ እናተገበረ ፀኒሑ እዩ ስለዚ እቲ መሰረታዊ ሽግር ናይ ዲሞክራሲ ሽግር እዩ ዝብል ግምት እዩ ዘለኒ እቲ ዲሞክራሲ ኣብ ኩልቲኡ ሕብረተሰብ ክዕንብብን ስር ክሰድድ ከሎ ምናልባት እቲ ምሕዝነት ሓውነት ዝበሃል ስር ክሰድድ ይኽእል እዩ ስለዚ ናይ ተሓሳስባ ለውጢ የድሊ እዩ ዝብል ግምት እዩ ዘለኒ እዚ ናይ ተሓሳስባ ለውጢ ናይ ስርዓት ናይ ዲሞክራሲ ሃዋሃው መሰረት ዝገበረ ክኸውን ኣለዎ እዚ ናይ ዲሞክራሲ ሃዋሃው ኣብ ዘይብሉ ሕብረተሰብ ብፕሮፓጋንዳ ዝነብር ናባዕሉ መንነትን መሰልን ዘይፈልጥ ሕብረተሰብ ብስምዒት ዝነጉድ ብሓደ ስርዓት ልክዕ ኣምልኮ ዘለዎ መንነቱ ልረስዐ ሕብረተሰብ ምንም ዓይነት ናይ ዲሞክራሲያዊ ህወሃብ ሃልይዎ ልናይ ካሊእ መሰረት ክኸውን ኣይኽእልን ስለዚ እቲ ዘሎ ፀገም ናይ ዲሞክራሲያዊ ኣባና ኣትሊስት ናይ ዲሞክራሲያዊ ምንነት ብምርጫ ኤክሰርሳይስ እናተገበረ እዩ ሕብረተሰብና ድማ እዚኣ ድሕር ዘየላ ብምንም ዓይነት መልክዕ ኣብ ትግራይ ዝኾነ መንግስቲ ክህልዎ ኣይኽእልን ምርጫ ድሕር ዘይከኣለ ስለዚ ኢንፎርምድ ዝኾነ ሕብረተሰብ እዩ ዘለና ክብለካ ስለ ዝደለኹ እየ ኣብቲ እውን ኣብ ሃምኡ ዓይነት ደረጃ እቲ ሕብረተሰብ ክሳዕ ዝበፅሕ ኣምዞም ዝረእኻዮም ውድቓት ብፕሮፓጋንዳ ዝሰኸሩ መንነቶም ዘይፈልጡ ሓደ ሓደ ክልተ ሰለስተ ሰባት እውን ኣይሰኣኑን ስለዚ ልና ባዕላቶም ሕብረተሰብ ዘይራህርሁ ለትግራዋይ ክርህርህሉ እዮም ኢልካ እውን ክሕሰብ የብሉን እና I think in terms of the video እዚ እየ ዝብል overall እቲ ናይ ተዓንቶ ቪድዮ ብኤፍሬም ዝረኣየ እውን እንታይ እዩ desperation ኣሎ ከዚ ተቃልሲ ናይ መጨረሻ ስቴጅ ዝበፅሐሉ ኩነታት እዩ ዝመስል ዘሎ ብዙሕ ምንፅርፃር ካብ መራሕቲ ኣምሓራ ሃምቲ ቅድሚ ከዚ ሓዊ ኣፋቶም ሓዊ ጎሪሶም ልዛረቡ ዝሉ ኩነታት ኣይነበረ ደጉ ረእዮ ባዕሉ ክሳዕ እንድምንታይ ፍራስትሬሽን ሃብ ዘለዎ ኣብዚ ቀረባ ግዜ እውን ሓደ ብሓደ እናጠፍኡ ከም ዝኸዱ ኣይትጠራጠር ስለዚ አንቶ ሓውና ብዙሕ ነገር ተናጊሩ እዩ ብዙሕ ስራሕ እዩ ዘለና ኣባና እቲ ስራሕ ክነቀላጥፎ እቲ ስራሕ ካልኦት ተጋሩ ኣብቱ ናይ ኣድቮኬሲ ኩነታት ኣትዮም ለሴኔተሮም ለኮንግረሶም ለካልኦት ኣድቮኬሲ ግሩፕ ለቃልስና ሰፖርት ዝገብሩ ክፍልታት እናረአና ክንቃለስ ኣለና ክሳዕ ሕንዱዚ TDF ክሳዕ ሕንዱዚ ቃልሲ ተገይሩ ንሕናኸ እጃምና ተኣይልና ብመዓልቱ ክንሓስብ ይግበአና ብዝተረፈ ያው የቀነለይ ምኪ ጽባሕ ኣብ ፖርትላንድ ክንራኸብ ኢና ቀዳም እውን ኣብኡ ክንምሺ ኢና so I hope ካልኦት ኣሕዋት ካብ ተፈላለየ ስቴት ጆይን ክንገብሩና በዘጋጣሚ እዚ ክላወ ይደሊ የቀነለይ
Thank you. يغني حوات كورات يا يكرتات برنامجنا نحن هنا أما جرش أنا كان زبلان تايا بق إذا ناي صباح عندنا نحن صباح خلتي معلتي أب بورتلاند أوريغون ناي ساعة 10 حادي ناي إجري سلام وصل فينا هنجبر قدام كا ناي كارفان هنجبرينا سلازي عاوزين نتحوسنا تسفان نجبر يغني لنا على مرز لهم سايبر بارتي غراي ميديا تكاتل حواتنا شير غورو ميديانا حجزنا نخعبي ያው ሰብስክራይብ ናገርኩም ሼር ግወሩ ዘይፈልጥዎ ኣሕዋታት ኣጋይሽ ዓድሙና ክመፅተለውን በብዘለኹሞ ከተማታት በብዘለኹሞ ስቴታት በብዘለኹሞ ሃገር ፖስት ግወርና ኣብቲ ቻት ክንከታተለኩም ኢና የቀኒልና ድሓን ወዓሉ ድሓን ሕደሩ ዓለም ምርእ ዘለኹም ኣሕዋትና